Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Stream of Chaos. My name is James, and I'm the keeper for this game of Shadows Over Stillwater, which is a Call of Cthulhu campaign set in the Wild West. I am joined, as always, by this fantastic cast of investigators who will be delving into the mystery and chaos that is ahead of us. I will get them to introduce themselves. First of all, Joseph, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hey, I'm Art. I will be playing Dr. Joseph Waite, who is, I believe, currently trying to rescue people from a snake dungeon, which is a lot worse than it sounds.
Yeah, it's a problem. It can really put a dampener on your day. Griff, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hey, I'm Daniel. I'm playing Griff Gutherson, who is a sullen old mountain man, and I don't really know. I don't know why I'm here, but let's keep going.
Excellent. Grease, what about you?
Hey, g'day, I'm Dave. I play Grease, and currently I'm fairly certain that these caves go straight to hell.
That's probably a good guess. There's tunnels everywhere, and you don't know exactly where they go.
Yeah.
Mac.
Hey, I'm Jackson. I'm playing Marshal Mac. Funnily enough, also in a snake dungeon. Pretty sure this is his last stand. You know, he's already kind of buried under here, so just the steps are slightly out of order, but he'll go down fighting.
Absolutely, probably a good plan. And Blanca.
Hi, my name is Rachael and I play Blanca. And last we saw me, all I remember and all I think I needed to remember is that there are snakes, but I have a shotgun, so everything is probably going to be fine.
Yes, that's probably a safe bet. So a quick reminder for those of you who are just joining us, the cast of characters here are all hot on the heels of the Green-Eyed Gang, who are a gang of outlaws that all of them have a personal vendetta against. And their search for one of the members has taken them to the town of Stillwater, where they have discovered that a strange infection or sickness is in the air, which is making it difficult for the people to go about their day-to-day lives and is putting them into sort of a dazed zombie-like state and is also possibly raising the dead. In an attempt to investigate the source of this strange sickness, they have traveled up to a nearby Mesa where they, through a series of fortunate pursuits and unfortunate escapes, have managed to track a suspicious individual who turned out to be a snake person into a large mountain base. They have wandered through the mountain base. They've found a collection of prisoners at the base of the mountain base, which is a fun thing to say, have released some of them, and then have been cornered at the base of the mountain base. And the snake people who own the mountain base are now charging in, weapons ready, and here to fight. So without further ado, let's move things over and let's give everybody a peek at the place where surely there is going to be a lot of death.
We just want to do a quick roundup of who's on below half health. Raise your hand if you're below half health.
Okay.
Cool.
So,
oh yeah, that's
I
nice
you guys.
to
I don't know
know.
what you jokers are up to.
Yeah, thanks for letting us know, Blanca. It's good to know you're okay. That's my number one concern at the moment.
At least your doctor isn't dead?
yes, that is a good sign.
I'm on 5.
I
I'm
can't
not
help.
much better. I'm on 7.
We'll talk about the scene a little bit and give everybody a chance to position themselves as we head towards this upcoming terrifying combat. But first, Grease, I want to ask you a little something.
Yes. How can I
So
help you?
you're a crack shot, aren't you? You're good with a gun.
I absolutely am.
Okay, fantastic. So this is probably something where, you know, a situation where you're going to thrive. But I'm interested in a little bit of your history. I'd like to ask you to tell me the story of when Greece fired their first shot.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Grease was originally a city kid. He was born in Chicago, but his old man went west, and when his mum died, some horrible disease, he was taken in by nuns. Now, they're not the standard tutor for gunslingers, but where there's a will, there is a way, and I actually stole a weapon from a person who was traveling through the nunnery, I think is not the term for it. And I would practice by sneaking out late at night, particularly on stormy nights or things when I could pass the gunshots as thunder, and I'd fire at, cans and I guess the occasional small animal that got in the way. So it wasn't in anger. I've prior to a few days ago, I'd never been in a real gunfight or fired at a person. And I'm still fairly new at that, but I'm very well practiced at, drawing quickly and shooting accurately.
Fortunately, these snakes are pretty much hell beasts, so you're probably safe to open fire. Now, Mac, I also want to ask you something. You've been in a few gunfights yourself, haven't you?
More than a few, yeah.
You're a marshal. You've had to face down danger and death before. So let me ask you something. When was the first time that Mac got shot?
Oh, that's a good question. It was probably like the first time he had a gun. As soon as he started wearing a gun and started wearing his badge, he noticed that put a bigger target on him. So it was just like some upshoot young drunkard stumbling out of a saloon late at night. Probably thought that I was coming to get him, so he just got spooked and tried to shoot me in the back, and it just grazed a shoulder. But from that moment, Mac knew that this job was probably going to be the death of him.
Well, it's a depressing thing to think about, but it's admirable that Mac kept along with it, even despite the risks. So let's have a look at the map that we have before us. So up at the top left of this map, that is where your enemies are going to come charging down. All of you have been sort of staggered around. Some of you, or Mac particularly, was yelling at them, trying to get some kind of information out of them. Joseph, you have a little bit of the language of the serpent people ingrained in your consciousness, so you were able to listen out and hear a couple of snippets of dialogue from what they were talking about. So given that, and given the approximate location of where you think you'd be, I know that Griff, you were trying to help open some of the cages to get the prisoners out. Could you all go ahead and place yourselves where you think you are generally around this area? And bear in mind, the top left-hand pathway is where your enemies are going to come down, or at the very least, it has been where they are talking.
When they gave us their absurd demands.
They were completely reasonable, and frankly, I'm offended that you didn't accept any of them.
They were not.
All they demanded was your unconditional surrender and immediate execution.
So top left as in where I am right now?
Yep,
okay,
there.
Okay.
So there's also scale here as well. So if you go to the little ruler, you can see I'm at 50 feet from these nerds. So when they come in,
I can see it as well.
They're gonna get both barrels. Oh, you can access the ruler on the left-hand side. So if you want to measure your own stuff.
One of the cool benefits of Roll20. So set yourselves up. You've had a couple of seconds to prepare, and the siege will be coming in just a few moments. So this is the frantic couple of seconds just after the voice has said to you, "Then we fight."
So, Jim, historically, there were like weird little offshoots and things in the walls, right? Are those exist in this room?
Make a spot hidden check for me.
You got it.
I ain't got no ruler. Where's my ruler at?
Just underneath the magnifying glass.
The fourth button.
Am I able to go and hide myself in one of these crevices?
James, I failed spectacularly.
You can't see anything, but this is a very
can't see a damn
room.
thing. I'm pretty sure I was crawling into this thing at the end of the last session. I've lost it.
You could hide here. You probably wouldn't be able to hide here for long. If people were bustling around the room, you'd get spotted. But you could definitely shield yourself.
What about up here in this little crevice?
You can absolutely do that, Griff, but that means that you will not be assisting with any of the cage breaking.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. All right,
you can hand over your crowbar to any of the two prisoners that you have broken out, and they can continue with the process.
Yeah, I might do that. I think I'm going to be more needed to defend this place rather than. Yeah, are you going to be up there? Up there, Ada, Blanca?
I'm thinking about it.
If so, I could be right here.
Not to out myself as an Australian, but there's 3 feet to a yard, right? Because my weapon has 15 yards. That's right, yeah? You know, I can just Google it. I got that.
Yeah, I think so. I think that sounds right. Thereabouts, 3.5.
There's 3.
It's
There's
like
3.
3.07
It's 3.
Oh, is it?
or
They get
something
points for that one. It
ridiculous.
kind of makes sense. All right, James, I'm going to stay here, worming myself into this little corner.
All right,
I'm very
perfect.
happy.
Yep.
All right, the rest of you, hit me with your locations. The
Yep,
sea is
I'm
coming.
locked in. I'm there.
Okay.
And
I
what
guess
I'm...
this is
Sorry,
okay.
go ahead.
Oh, I'm okay with where I am. Well, they're coming from the top right side, right?
Top
Top
left,
left.
I think.
Damn
Up
it!
this way.
Okay, well, all right. let's reconsider. Let me just
So
scoop
I want
on
to
over
stand...
here.
I'm going to get up to the top of this little mound or whatever, and I want to stand in. I still haven't drawn my weapon, but while the others were crowing things out, I want to have a peek down. Were we able to get any idea of how many of these things there are? There was a lot of hissing and snapping and barked orders.
You know, there's we're more than 5.
Okay. That's bad.
So, a question. Because I can kind of make out words that they are saying. Do I have a better shot of telling how many of them there are?
You can make a listen check to try and determine at least how many of them have been talking.
Oh, I've already booped listen.
There's no point.
Well, don't stress because
Why do it again?
you failed the roll, so it's okay. All right.
I'm all about them boopable skills.
So everyone's in their final position. Once again, you are in the bottom of this cave. You have managed to get a little further down, so you've escaped from the oppressive heat that has been just going through this whole thing. You're all dripping with sweat all the same, panic and the temperature. You can hear the hissing. You can hear the sort of panicked gasps of the prisoners behind you. You can hear the chittering rattles of the snakes over at the other side of the room. And then the loud hiss comes, "So we fight." And a moment later, there are a collection of strange colored rocks that are tossed into the room, which begin to bang and explode and crash, and figures begin charging in at top speed. The first thing I want to do is get Blanca and Grease. The two of you are close enough to be in range of the first flurry of grenades.
Yeah.
I'd like both of you to make dexterity checks.
Do they just flashbang the room as they're
Yeah,
breaching
yeah, that's
clear
exactly
us?
what they did.
What the hell? These snakes are more
Oh, we knew they
advanced.
had grenades too. We did nothing about it.
I got a grenade and I threw it. It was Dex, right? Jim?
Success.
A success?
Ooh, extreme success. Look at this. Look at
Extreme
this. Look at this
success.
kid over here.
Had to show you up.
I love
Okay.
it when people are anything modern is just horrifying.
Yeah. Yeah.
How you define the mythos? Is it modern? It's
I
horrifying.
don't like it.
So I'm just moving through your enemies into the area.
Like a dex order at all there, James?
I will need your dex order. So why don't you all just put your dex into the Roll20 chat and we'll go
We've
from there.
known it, right? Yeah. Dex. Reaper. Sorry, that was really creepy with that context.
Yeah, that
was. The Reaper.
Getting some first aid to keep you safe.
Reaper
That
is saving us from the Reaper. Well, saving the two of you with plenty of hit points already.
Reaper's
Just
no, I'm
not really
not dude,
concerned about old Mac.
You've lived long enough, mate. You've had a good run.
It's fine.
Dex 85 plus readied weapon. Good grief. I should know this.
Okay,
Good
fantastic.
grease.
Hey.
So, the first thing that happens is that you hear a chittering sound from one side of the room, and you hear the sound of running footsteps from the other. Up at the top left-hand side, exactly where you expected to see them come through, come these two hulking, really broad-shouldered figures. They are serpents. There's no other word for it. Walking snakes, clad in terrifying, odd selections of sort of cloth and bits of metal tied together, and they're carrying in their hands these strange crystalline pieces of technology that they're holding out in front of them, oddly like guns. The flash, now you both succeeded your dexterity checks, so neither of you are affected. You both cover your eyes, and when there is an explosion, it's not a flashbang as such. Instead, there's a disorientating kind of force of electricity that hits both of you and makes your muscles want to start seizing up, but you force through it, continuing. You're able to move. Whatever kind of paralysis power this was hasn't exactly gotten through to you. The creatures become charging in straight after, running into the room. On the other side of the room, there's a hissing, screeching noise as two of the sort of deformed half snakes come charging in through a hidden tunnel. You were right, Grease. There are some in the room, and heading into the cage that has an open, broken door. So they're going to be making their way out of there. Jameson, the person that you freed, sees them and starts to panic, yelling at the top of their lungs. I need everybody to make a sanity check as you witness the snakes for the first time. And I also need you, Max, since you were going first, to tell me what you're going to do.
Shoot a snake.
Probably a good idea.
Oh, we all failed.
Mac-
Uh-oh. You
Oh, we all
critically
failed.
All of them?
Okay.
I thought we were a
Same
team, mate.
as
why
always.
can't you be the same as us?
That's all right. I'll be a perfectly sound mind when my blood spills on the floor.
Could someone remind me what we get for first aid? And thank you to
First aid, you're just going to restore yourself a single point.
No.
single
We
point.
got first aided by Reaper. I think it's 4 points.
Oh, sorry. Yes, the first aid power.
Yeah.
Yes, I believe it is a D4 of health restore.
It's 4. It's 4. We made it just a straight.
Yes, that's right. So 4 health.
Ooh, now I am slightly below half health
Excessive.
instead of way below half health.
You don't need to see all this.
Okay. As the creatures charge in, your weapons are at the ready. You all see these creatures emerge, and immediately your minds start to panic. You're seeing aliens. There's no other word for it. And as the way they move, everything about them appeals to some kind of primal, ironically, some kind of reptile part of your brain, and tells you to panic. Everybody who fails is going to take a D4 of sanity loss. Everyone who succeeds is only going to take 1.
Oh, this is a slippery slope.
Oh, okay.
Slippery slope.
Slippery.
There's only one number higher than that I could have rolled.
Hey.
By process of elimination, I think I can figure out exactly what you rolled. Give me 20 minutes and I'll see if I can...
Do the math.
Back a piece of paper.
I am exactly 50 out of 100.
I rolled a 4. I'm down to 36 sanity.
Oh,
Yeah.
that is not good. Now remember to keep
Six.
track of your total for the day, because if you hit a
Oh
high
my
enough,
god.
you might start to go temporarily or indefinitely
It's
insane.
a fifth of your sanity from the start of the day. And we've had a few encounters, so...
Your sanity starts at your power.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of what I think I would have started at like 40. I don't
Yeah.
think I was a lot higher than that at the start of the day. Okay.
Yeah.
So a fifth of 40 is 8. Ooh.
You're getting
We're
close?
getting there.
I'm 4 away.
Okay. All right. I'm sure that you're not going to see anything else terrifying. Bearing in
Just
mind the death
snakes
of
from here on out. And I've
Exactly.
seen
Bearing in
them
mind
now.
the
It's
sanity
snakes.
loss for the death of the sudden gory death of a friend can be attributed. But fortunately, Blanca, you might not consider these people friends.
And she doesn't
No,
care if it's
I'm
bloody
just
and
I'm just
gory.
really chill with gore.
Oh yeah, that is a good point. You have your
Seen one man get disemboweled by a snake. You've seen them all.
exactly. So, terrified as you are, the battle commences. The first to act is Mac. What
I
are you
would
doing?
care to shoot the first snake.
The first snake is charging forward. Please make for me a firearms check. And are you within range? Please confirm that first of all.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm muted.
Oh,
I
your
am
range
though
is
very kind
80.
to get in range. My range is
Oh, that was
80
nice
with
of
my rifle.
All right, please roll me
Is
a
it 80
firearms check.
feet? I suspect it's 80 yards.
No, that'll be 80. No, I think
Oh
that's...
yeah, that'd be. I have no idea. I'll look up in the book
With
in
a
second.
rifle, I think.
But regardless, that's a hard success.
Hard success. Okay. So you fire directly at this person. You land a solid shot against them. They make no move to try and block or anything like that, charging forward, holding these crystals up in their hands. Roll me your damage.
I already have. It's all built into the Roll20 character combat
course.
tab sheet thing. So that was 8 damage.
8 damage. Okay, fantastic. So
80 yards.
you fire with the shot, and it impacts against the creature, and it disintegrates completely. Not the creature, the bullet. It
what?
explodes, leaving these prismatic shards bouncing straight off. Grease, you remember the armor that you have in place? These things are clearly equipped with them.
I have
And,
celebrated too soon.
As such, your shot does no
Using the
damage.
kind of firing shots into the
Yeah.
air in celebration. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
The bullet just explodes into bright light, and the snake continues forward, moving further and further towards
Any
you.
damage?
It appears to be. It didn't even reach its skin. It blew apart when it was like this far away.
Fucking neat.
Good.
Yeah, that's what we wanted to happen.
Now my
All right,
armor's
well.
expired, right, James?
Your armor is still active.
Well, you guys
As we
are dead.
established last time. Yeah, you might survive. Yeah, Grease, if it makes you feel any better, you might survive long enough to participate in the test subject volunteering program. Anyway,
I would.
speaking of which,
Rather not.
it is your turn.
All right. I'm gonna follow Mac's lead. Seeing him fire at one, I'd take that as we're allowed to shoot
Your
them.
weapons are useless! It yells as you open fire, cracking out a shot with your pistol. Make me the roll.
Would I be able to, like, try and ding his foot or something and go for an alternate effect, I suppose, rather than just shooting him if we know that they're armored? I mean, I'm in a similar position. Go try and shoot
you
his
are in a similar
stupid gun.
position. You can try and do some other kind of stunt firing, but here's the thing: this armor, you have it active on yourself too. It is a shimmering magnetic barrier that goes around your entire body. So this is not like clothing. If you shoot them in the foot, it'll bounce off the foot. If you shoot them in the ear, it'll bounce off the ear. You can try and if you're trying to kick up dirt, if you're trying to hit some kind of geographical feature of the ceiling to knock it down and send it tumbling towards the ground, that might work, but you'll have to pitch something at me.
All right, no. Let's start simple. It's a classic for a reason. I'm gonna shoot him in the face.
Okay, probably a good plan.
Bang. Ooh, extreme.
Oh.
Oh
So
my god!
hang on, the
okay.
impaling damage is a little jank. So it's 12 plus 7. I've done 19 points of damage.
Wow. There is one other thing to say. Extreme successes bypass the armor. So this thing comes in, your weapons are, you bang, gets hit in the head.
Mac, I got him!
Immediately
I am undefeated.
slumps backwards. And you see this appears to throw the creatures off. Suddenly they've walked in to a barrage of fire. Now let me ask you, can you see the nameplates of these creatures that I've provided?
Yes.
Yes.
Did you aim for
Very
the
And
marksman?
for the warrior.
You've aimed for the warrior. Okay, good to know. In that case, you can clearly see that 19 damage is going to be enough, and the warrior collapses to the ground. The prismatic shield explodes into a dozen pieces, and a second later, the marksman who is standing there starts to shriek and hiss in its native serpent language. Can I get you to make a knuckle check, please, Joseph?
Y'all ain't so tough.
I'd spent
Not
one
gonna
point of luck.
succeed.
I
I'm
would have
never
gotten
gonna-
extreme success
Oh.
too.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
You
I
can
should've-
you can luck that.
Can
But
you
I
you can look at
can't boop it.
Oh yeah, you
Can't
can't
boop
boop
it,
it.
you're
if
right.
That was
But
really
you can
close.
understand.
I will give you 2 points of luck because my boy Joe absolutely wants to know what the fuck.
Dude, 4
He
points of luck, you
loves
get a hard
smoke.
success.
What?
5 points of luck, you get yourself.
6 points of luck would be. Wait, no,
A
that'd be a
fumble.
failure.
Back to the top.
How many points of luck do I need to spend to get the information, Jim?
You just need a success.
Cool, 2 points of luck it is then.
Okay.
Yeah, but it could be a cool success.
I love
What's
you all
that?
to stuff.
All right. So you immediately listen, and you're still kind of reeling. You ingested this mystery contents rather of your hip flask last time.
Which is just for your reference, Jamie. My hip flask is empty
Oh, okay.
because I drained it.
All right. That's
So
good
at
to
some
know.
point, I'm gonna have to address that.
Yeah, that might come up. But
Yeah.
while you are currently, you are still reeling from the effects of whatever strange substance is inside, and that has opened you up somewhat to the connections of the mythos, and you're able to decode, based on what you read and what you've heard, some of the words of the serpents that come through. And you hear this hissing and spitting, and the creature that is walking forward hisses, "They have killed the warrior! Retreat! We cannot spare the serpents!" And a
Can I-
second later,
Is screaming a free action in this game?
sure, go ahead.
Something along the lines of, and I don't know what it is in Western, so you're just gonna get it in art. Fuck 'em up, boys. And Blanca, obviously.
Hell yeah.
Perfect. So bolstered by this news, you hear Joseph wholeheartedly endorsing violence. Now, the marksman on their turn is going to retreat backwards, dashing out of the room as quickly as they can. But before they go, they are going to crack out a shot. And considering that you just completely annihilated one of them, Grease, they are going to fire directly at you.
Try it, mate.
You see them spin around, and they are holding this sort of strange shaped crystalline formation, something that looks like it's hewn straight out of the walls of some kind of wonderful cave full of rare minerals. But as they point it at you, you can see the world begin to distort around it, and a strange beam blasts directly towards you. You can make a dodge check if you'd like to throw yourself out of the way, and I know you have a pulp talent that might help you with that.
Yeah, damn right I do. So my pulp talent, normally when you try and dodge a firearms, if you succeed a dodge test, you impose disadvantage on theirs, but you lose your next turn. But I've got a talent which allows me to throw myself to the ground, but I retain my turn, so I will absolutely do so.
Okay,
There
so
we go.
you
Success.
dive out of the way, imposing disadvantage upon the roll. Excellent.
Can I be sort of skidding down this little ledge a little bit, just sort of like throw myself out and away from it as it hits these rocks behind me?
You're backing out as best as you can, and a second later, the crystal fires a bolt, and you can see the serpent dive away behind it. The first roll is going to be a success, with an added penalty dice.
Come on.
Oh,
that would have been bad though.
Yeah.
Dive sideways as best you can, but the beam, it doesn't fire like a gun does, and you're so used to seeing guns, you know how they fire.
Yeah.
You reckon you could dodge a bullet? It can't be that hard.
Yeah.
But you throw yourself out of the way, and the crystal doesn't fire. So you do that thing where you do your cool slide, you land on the ground, and the serpent adjusts the beam to fire directly at you, and it catches you in the chest as you are thrown backwards. It is going to deal.
Wait,
Oh dear.
doesn't Grease win dodge if it's equal?
No, this is so dodging firearms is a little different. It just imposes a penalty dice to them. Because at the end of the day, dodging a bullet is hard. Yeah. Well, I intend to disprove that during this campaign, but you can't dodge a bullet.
Fair. I haven't dodged bullets in the past. I don't expect to dodge bullets in the future.
6 points of damage, which hit you directly and disperse entirely across your armor, dealing no damage. As you kind of pat it yourself, but you're okay. And upon seeing this, the serpent has, glanced over its shoulder and spotted this, and it hisses, "Thief! Thief!" Realizing that you have stolen its technology. And then a second later, it is gone, leaving you alone in the room. And we are across to Blanca. There are still monsters in the room. They are coming out of the cages.
So just the ones over there.
Yes.
The one that's retreating, I believe that's the marksman.
Yes, that
He's
you
got
can try and crack off a shot if you are in range. It is still it is darting away, but you can try and get a parting salvo.
I'm a shotgun specialist. I don't think I'm going to bother. All right, I might head over to where. Oh gosh, the text is very small on my screen. Jamison,
James, Jameson. This is
Jameson Cobb.
Jameson is the sort of pleasant person who just wasn't going to let life get some
he was
shocking.
the really friendly, positive man. All right, I will head over to him.
Ain't nothing gonna get me down.
And he's continued that attitude. He's backing away from the creatures, going, "Oh no, they're going to eat my legs." Just sort of slightly.
I hate to be a bother, but would you mind killing these snake things?
I'd be thrilled if you wouldn't.
But Blanca, you dart forward, your crucifix swinging around as you wield your shotgun to bear. Can you make a firearms check for me?
Yes. Do I make it within close range?
Yes, this is going to be point blank range.
Oh yeah. It didn't work. Why didn't it do anything? I clicked on it and nothing happened.
Are you in edit mode?
No.
What a twist.
I think it.
Oh,
yes, there we go.
You've just done a lot.
extreme success.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
With 11 damage.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Okay.
I rolled it. Okay.
Let's go with that first one.
The first one was-
the second one
intended
was
one.
was a cool.
I don't
one.
think any reason why we need to take that second roll.
I think there was like
Pretty
a
good.
delay.
Now, remember, with impaling damage on a shotgun, you roll, but then you also take the max damage of your weapon, which at this range is 4d6. So you actually deal 35 damage to this thing, and this is something straight out of
I apologize.
a very adult-rated zombie-killing video game. So you crash forward with the shotgun and blow this thing backwards, and it slams into the walls, casting gore all across into the next cave, where the Prosper, the other prisoner, sort of looks towards it and seems to kind of continuously see it there, be shocked, and then forget that it was there and see it again, and again and again on repeat. The other creature does not appear to have any kind of survival mechanism. It continues charging forward as well, which means, Joseph, it is now your turn.
Well, hell. My plan was to continue trying to get people out of these cages. I don't think I have any reason to avoid continuing that, so I'm going to do that with whomever is able to help.
Okay, who are you going to try and get out next?
Sorry, I'm looking at teeny weeny ice render vision on my screen. I don't know the next. I can't read it. The one closest to me, like next in line, I guess.
Okay, fantastic.
The only thing was there was one that had a child in it, which I think we said we might
that
prioritize
is
next time.
Mandy Jacobs is
That'll
the
be
child,
this
so
one
that is
here.
the one slightly isolated.
In
by
that case, then
themselves.
yeah, I will go for the young child.
Sounds like a good idea. Okay, so you sort of motion towards Decaya, who runs over with you, and the two of you can try and start breaking things open. So I'd like you to make a strength check,
Okay.
and tell me your roll, because you're going to add your strength to Decaya's.
Okay.
Now, also to Kenny944550, we do a recap at the start of each session. Otherwise, the videos are all on YouTube, so you can catch them there. Back to the action. How did your strength check go? Oh, fantastic.
6 over 60.
Okay, that's that 46, and with the two of you added together, look, these beams are tough, and you're starting to work them away, but you need several people with this. You're starting to wear at it, and you'll probably get it in a couple of turns, but for the moment, nothing seems to have worked. The child inside has shrunk back slightly, but does not appear to be moving or taking any other action
That's fine.
apart from that.
I'm just going to keep working at it.
Okay, brilliant. Now, next up is these creatures, and they go snarling, charging forward. Once again, these are half-deformed snakes that appear totally terrifying and bizarre to behold, and they skitter forward, heading straight towards the two of you, snorting, snarling, hissing, trying to tear your skin from your bones. Now, Blanca, you and Jameson are kind of next to each other. If you'd like, you can step behind Jameson.
Nah.
Nope.
I'm not about letting innocent people take the fall for me. That's
All right, good on you.
not cool.
That's
I mean, no, I'm better than that. You know, I have a really nice gun. Like I can do better than that.
yeah.
It's not what outlaws do, right?
Yeah, you really are a reformed bandit. So Jameson sort of is panicking, and you step forward, willing to bear the brunt of the assault. And as this creature dives forward to you, ready to attack, can you make for me either a dodge or a riposte check?
Now, I forget this every week, and I do apologize.
No
Dodge,
worries.
I just need to equal. Riposte, I need to do one better.
Exactly. Dodge, you use your dodge skill, and riposte, you
Yeah.
use whatever attack you are using. So if you were fighting with your fist, you'd use a fighting brawl. I believe you have a giant shotgun, so you probably want to use firearms, rifles, shotguns to riposte.
Yeah, neat. I'm gonna use. I'm gonna riposte.
I like to think of it, if you dodge, you'll win the tie, but if you riposte, you'll lose the tie.
Yeah.
Hard success.
A hard success. Okay, so as this creature gets towards you, you raise up the gun, frantic, and fire off a shot. As the thing dives forward, all teeth, and
Oof, nice.
you catch it full on in the face. Roll 46 of damage.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't do max.
No, you don't do max here because this isn't a critical.
Right.
Extreme.
15.
Yes, an extreme. Thank you. All right, 15.
That's not
Damn it,
bad.
that is enough. Once again, you are repelling these things again and again and again. You fire once, and a second later, it is blown to bits. The gore once again joining, and you sort of stand there, shotgun smoking. In the silence, Griff, it's your turn. Would you like to take any particular action?
I was gonna say, this is like the third time we've gotten to me, and I know my dex is 35. I'm not the quickest old man on the block, but where are all the bodies? I'm gonna see if I can. I've got quite a long ranged rifle. I'm gonna see if I can pick off this marksman as he tries to flee down the hall. If you would allow me to do so.
Absolutely. So you spin past and aim down and fire off a shot at the fleeing serpent person who is still hissing. Joseph's words are ringing in your head. Fuck him up, get rid of him, take him out. You aim carefully and fire.
I think you should shoot them. It's probably
So I got a 44. Yeah, I got a success.
Now, since this creature is trying to escape, it is going to attempt to dodge fire. So you will need to make this with a penalty dice.
All right, rolling penalty. Rolling penalty. Now. That's still a success, though.
It's still a
54
success,
out
in
of
which
60.
case, and once again, I get you to do this every time you take a shot, Griff. I know. Tell us about your gun.
Oh yeah, it's a giant 50 caliber. It's called Sharp's Big 50. They're meant for taking out buffalo and stuff. Like they deal damage. But this one only sort of nicks his shoulder, only dealing 13 damage.
Okay, it still overwhelms the strange magnetic shield and actually breaks it apart. So you can see the prismatic shards fly off in every direction. The creature is hit and it hisses in pain, but it does not appear to it doesn't collapse. It isn't overwhelmed by it. A second later, it vanishes from your sight, and you're all left alone, panting slightly. You've repelled one wave. You wait a couple of seconds, catching your breath, and then the hissing voice comes back, this time speaking English, calling out to the collection of you, and it hisses, "There is no escape from us. We can wait you out. You are in the belly of the serpent. You will be destroyed." And then silence. They don't send through another wave yet. We're out of combat. What would you all like to do?
Is that all they got? I was like,
I reckon
I was like 4 snakes. Is there more snakes? We can take those snakes.
Yeah.
Now I get
we
some help
killed
over
like
here.
3 of them.
Are you yelling that out, Blanca, loud enough for them to hear?
Yeah, no, I do say that.
Yeah. There's a pause, and then you can't really detect offendedness in a hissing serpent, but it's, "We are innumerable. We will defeat you."
There are dozens of us.
It didn't seem like you were innumerable. I counted 4. That's a number. That is numerable.
We have many allies, but we will bide our time. If we cannot shoot you out, then we will force you out.
That's a little ominous.
Can I get some help over here? They're real.
Yeah, hold on. I'm
They're
coming.
real worried about losing them. So I think we're all right for the moment.
Also,
I'm gonna go over. Oh, sorry.
Well, there's 4 of us, and we can all handle ourselves, but there's something shy 8 of these other fellers, which we'd have to, drag out with us. They're going
That's
to be...
fine. They got to get out just as much as we do.
I know, I'm just saying,
We're gonna get 'em out
we
of
need
here.
to find an opportunity to leave, because matter of time, one of these things is going to make a run at us. They're going to get past the first wave, and then they're going to start sinking teeth into youngins.
So Jamie, is this another exit up here to the top right?
The
I'm
top
seeing
right. Now, that is a virtue of the map. That is blocked functionally.
bastard.
We do not have don't have a perfectly accurate map.
Way
Now,
to get our hopes up.
sorry. I should say,
I'm going to draw
though,
a wall on it.
this is a cavern with lots of, dark corners, and maybe you can find a tunnel. I mean, there's absolutely one at the back of the cell where those creatures came through. And as we've established, Mac and Grease, you two are small enough to maybe crawl into one. I told you I'd get you into one of them. I let you know.
Absolutely not.
So you could have a shot. That might be an avenue you want to pursue. You could make another spot hidden check to sort of look around. The other two people that you have freed go and help you, and over the next couple of minutes, you can start to break open more and more of these cages rather. But the people inside do not appear to be particularly helpful. They are mostly dazed. You break open Mandy's cage, the young girl's, and she just sits there. She doesn't say anything. When you break over Prosper's, the man who was showered in blood, he's still kind of, smiling towards you. Then he looks down at his hand and sees all the blood in his hands, gets distracted, looks around, walks out, turns around, smiles at you again, just on repeat.
Hey, Doc.
Yeah.
I couldn't help noticing you seem to understand a little that their snake language with all the S's and stuff.
Yeah, I get the general gist of it.
Do you reckon you could have a word to them there snakes in the cages? Maybe see what they see why they're in those cages? I get a strong feeling that the enemy of our enemy could be our friend.
I don't know if they're the enemy, if I remember correctly from only moments ago last week. They were being uplifted.
Yes, you
raised in intelligence by these snake creatures. I don't know if they're
but they're still in cages. Like, why are they in cages if they're on the same side?
Because they're primitive.
Yeah.
And they ain't got the head for it.
They're like trained dogs.
Yeah, maybe we can use them to our advantage in some way, shape, or form.
I mean, I can try.
If we can open them cages and get them to charge down the other snakes, and then we escape in the hut in the.
If we're adding lists for Doc to check out, they also mentioned experiments being run on these folks. It'd be good to know if their heads are still theirs. I mean, that one over there looks a little shaky.
Well, yeah, they look. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jamie. They look an awful lot like the townsfolk. They're just a little muddled in the head. I reckon if we could get some smelling salts into them, they'd probably wake up a little.
Or if they're following orders, it might be easier to just leave them like that for now, so we can tell them when to run.
I think you're right, Griff.
I'll take you up on that offer to have a spot hidden roll for any other exits.
Okay, fantastic. Make a spot hidden roll for me.
I will not, sir. You can't tell me what to do.
Okay, fair enough. You're combing over these things, but look, there's nothing that screams exit to you. Just by virtue of walking around and actually looking at some of these places, you can see there's little tunnels, but you don't think that any of them could, support a max exodus, and you don't think any of them appear to head specifically in the right direction. As far as you know, there are two entryways into this place. One of them is the one that you came in through, which you blew up using grenades and collapsed to avoid the Legion of the Dead that were chasing you. And the other one appeared to be the section of tunnels that headed out towards Deep Canyon. And this was confirmed by Decaya, the Chiricahua Apache man that you freed, who is currently helping you lever off some of the cages. He seemed to say that those tunnels will lead you out back to the Mesa if you can get through them. But those are past the Serpents and the Blockade that they have presumably set up.
Well, I wonder if someone can go up there and take a peek, see if they're still out there. We also want to try to get some of those weapons they had just in the next room over.
Just an aside, they seem awful concerned about losing their own. We might, and I say might, be able to rush them, push them back, get to the exit, and get out before they realize that that's what we're doing.
Come to think of it, if you think they're scared of losing their own, why don't we take some of these dogs out there?
I don't mean they're worried about these creatures. I think they're worried about the ones with intelligence.
Well,
I don't think there's many of them, and I don't think they want to lose many. After Grease done took out that big fella, they seem mighty concerned that they'd lose more of them. So I don't think they give a damn about the dogs, but I do think they give a damn about themselves.
You're suggesting we put down the dog snakes?
I'm saying we threaten to. Look, there is a chance they got a soft spot for him.
That seems a mite dishonest. Or there's something don't sit right about threatening to kill pets or kin. I'd rather face them head on, all things considered. I mean, maybe they'll agree to just, duel for it or something similar. Or we can try and sneak past. I'd rather charge them what it's worth.
We could try sneaking, and if sneaking doesn't work, we could just shoot them.
I'm awful quiet.
You saw those shields they have. That was a damn lucky shot that Grease got off, but not all of us are going to be able to manage that.
I'm still bedazzled as well.
Them. Maybe we have to just hit them, like physically.
I guess we could try it. I punch Grease in the face to see if it goes through the shield.
Ow, my face!
Right. So as the collection of you are standing there, I guess we could try it. You spin about and you throw a hard hit straight towards Grease. Grease, are you expecting it?
No.
It is 10 hit.
Dad. I mean, Mac.
Dad.
I'd love.
Wow, you take 5 embarrassment.
You called the teacher Dad.
Well, no, then he slapped me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
When you throw this weapon, there's a hard left.
Let's call it a slap. That's fine.
Okay. You feel a resistance. But you also feel it. So you throw the hand. It stops. You feel like you've sort of hit some kind of almost like wind, like hard wind, forcing your hand back. It's some kind of magnetic force or something like that. Grease, you do notice that it has gotten substantially closer. It appears to be wearing off whatever it was.
Oh hell, Mac! First of all,
did that hurt?
No.
All right, no complaints then.
Well, no, hang on. It's wearing off though. I can see the sparkles are wandering, and it got closer than that ray thingy.
Well, if we know about how long it lasts, maybe we should make our charge when we think that they're wearing off out there.
I mean, mine's been going for a while. Most likely, mine will go then theirs. We may just want to take the opportunity, but getting all these folks out is going to take a healthy hour or so, regardless. Them cages are so heavy.
Well, I don't mind getting them out. They deserve their freedom.
I
Least
agree.
we can do.
Also, not to make a fuss or anything, but there are 3 of y'all look pretty banged up.
Oh, please make a fuss. Mac's not going to.
I'm fine.
I feel alright.
They don't look particularly good. You might, some kind of healing might be good. You also know, Joseph, that the next level up, because you went through this place down little bit by little bit, if you could get 1 level up, you would be in whatever sort of strange laboratory medical facility they had set up. So you'd have a lot of tools. What you'd have at the very least, proper sort of stone tables to operate on.
Not the one we just smashed up, right?
Yeah, we smashed the hell out
Yeah,
of
the
it.
one you just smashed up. So hopefully it's got some stuff
Good
left.
job, us.
Right. If we can get 1 level up, etc., 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 etc.
All right. Well, if one of us is sneaky enough, maybe Grease, you go now while you still got a little bit of juice left in your shield. See if they're still out there.
All right.
We can take the next room back.
I'll holler if things go south. And y'all remember the code word we established. So if I come back and I don't know it, gut me. And I go, I don't run off.
Yeah, I
Asparagus.
completely forgot.
Asparagus.
That was
Asparagus.
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 Asparagus?
Asparagus.
It's a
It's a vegetable. Jim, can I go the way that those ones popped out of the wall, if they'll fit?
Yeah, am I getting you into a tunnel? Is that what I'm hearing?
I mean,
Okay,
but
fantastic.
I'm not happy about it.
All right,
if
so
there's
you
something
head
in there-
over to this. You head over to this tiny little tunnel area and you observe it. It's cramped, it's tiny, and there's like gore everywhere. Your boots kind of trudge through it. Now, since you have gotten this close, you will see that as you begin to walk into the small area, the creatures that were sent down, one of them appears to have a section of what looks like one of those dream kind of catcher wind chime setups that were sold to Blanca on it. But it has been smashed apart completely by the shotgun.
Okay.
Just something to note.
Make
you
a
get to
mental
the
note.
tunnel and you can see the way forward. Can I get you to make for me a climb check as you begin to sort of force your way through this cramped and rather depressing area?
Yeah, enthusiastically. Where's my climb? Click. Ugh.
Okay, perfect. Oh my god, not what you want. Okay. So as you move into this thing and it does appear to head deeper into the facility, and you start to wriggle further and further in. You're getting close. You're inching your way forward, and suddenly you find yourself sort of pinned up in between two little sets of rocks, and you can't wiggle free. You start to find yourself panicking all of a sudden. Are you good with small spaces?
I ain't bad with them, but I don't like this, and normally there ain't feckin' lizards around. So no, I ain't great.
You are convinced that you can suddenly feel snakes crawling across your feet. You are trapped in here and you absolutely can't move. You start to try and sort of frantically wiggle your way out. And I'm going to give you a couple of options.
Yeah.
You can call for help and hope that somebody can get in, start to help you, prod you from the feet, or help twist you the right way. You can ditch the belt that you have on to try and get that extra little bit of wiggle room and leave your gun behind. Theoretically, you should be able to find it on the way back, but you're not sure.
Not thrilled.
Otherwise, you're going to have to just wrench wildly and force yourself and begin to panic and spasm, either taking sanity damage from being trapped down here or health damage if you start to scrape your face and your
Ditch
head.
the gun, man. He said you'd get it on the way back. He said that. He said you could get it on the way back.
He says that. He doesn't mean it.
He says it. He says it's because it's true. You'll probably be able to get it on the way back.
I absolutely refuse to stay here, and I absolutely refuse to call for help. So I will shimmy until the belt comes loose, and then I'll let it drop to the floor and continue on. I'll be back for it.
Good on you. Okay, so
that gun is never being seen again.
I would like to point out, all of us have also lost our horses, which are expensive.
Yeah.
I lost my horse
Our
twice.
horses?
It's fine, and I it's not mine.
I had to return that horse at some point anyway, so.
Return?
It's gone to a better place now.
Wait, did they die?
Snake dungeon.
I don't know.
I thought
never
we
saw
parked
them.
them at the we parked them at the base of this.
Yeah, where all the
hill.
undead shamblers were.
Yeah.
They're fine.
Maybe
Everyone
they're-
knows the undead hate horses.
Maybe
I
they're
don't
undead
know.
horses now, or snake horses.
Skeleton horses.
Yeah.
We come down and it's clearly a lizard pretending to be our horse. Like, welcome back, friend. Get ready to ride me.
It's like 3 lizards in like a blanket.
There's something different about this horse. Nay. Climb aboard.
I mean, names.
Hey, do you have any
Okay.
carrots?
Carrots.
So you emerge
Oh,
into a
hell.
small cave area, coming out and poke your head out just in time to see that the area that you came into, it's still trashed. They've managed to pile up some sort of sections of the rubble that you exploded everywhere.
Yeah.
The chemicals that you dashed upon the ground and threw everywhere have been carefully gathered. You've destroyed so much hard work. And you can see a collection of serpents down the bottom. Now, you can see that they're clearly named for your convenience with evocative titles: the geneticist, the uplifted,
The
marksman, and the
uplifted.
technician. There does only appear to be 4 of them.
So what you're saying is there's a chance.
Right.
We outnumber them.
In front of them, they have a blockade set up. You know, they've basically piled rubble forward, and they have some sort of weaponry set up there. And they've got a pretty good look down the hallway towards where you would all be coming from, which
Okay.
is over this side. Now, over this side is where you would leave to. That is going to take you higher up and deeper into the facility. And up this way, I'm afraid no doors here, so you're just going to have to trust my words. Thank you for marking them. Is the passage towards the small storage room that you found, where you know there's some weapons and some stuff like that over there. Now, as you watch these figures, they are all hissing to themselves in a serpentine tongue. You're glancing around the room frantically. I want you to make a spot hidden check and a stealth check.
Which one of these is more important? Because I know which one I'd like to succeed.
I can tell you which one's more important.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to go stealth first because I don't care if I succeed the other one. If I fail this one. Okay, we're good. I will continue with this charade.
You're pretty sneaky. You're crouched down. It's a little more extreme than when you were dodging past nuns and stuff like that, trying to sort of sneak out to get your shooting practice in. But the principle is the same. They're all standing upright, hissing to each other in strange serpentine languages. I assume
Just like nuns.
do.
Yeah. All right, spot hidden.
Okay, make your spot hidden check.
I failed.
If you're gonna fail one of them, that's the one to fail.
Okay.
What would a push look like, James? Just if it's in the cards.
What you?
It's. I'm not.
Your eyeballs pop out.
I could see further if my eyeballs were out of my head.
You want to get a better look at the room.
Yes.
You're worried there might be more of these little kind of deformed serpent things around. They could be risky. So you reckon that you can get a better look at the room from this angle. So you can move all the way across to here.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go with deeper in. I'm confident with that.
Okay. Make for me a spot hidden check.
So I'm pushing?
Pushed roll. Yep.
Should have just locked it. I got so much luck. Here we go.
Well, Grease, it was nice to know you.
Yeah, it was nice to know you too.
Glad you have that shield. It won't last much longer.
Yeah. So, I mean, what I'm going for, Jim, is I'll circle around, and like you said, I'm trying to get an accurate count for them. So if that, I'm happy to stick my head out around and see if I can eyeball. And if I go past a door, I'll stick my nose through it.
So you get to about here, intending to poke your nose through, and having moved out, crept through, gotten a proper look around the area, only too late do you realize that there are indeed some of these serpent creatures, and they are patrolling. They are coming out of the tunnels and moving through and darting around, and you manage to duck into cover. You're still hidden, but suddenly your line of retreat is blocked as two of the serpents come from here, and a second later, two more of them appear down from here, and you are cut off from your friends as you see these ones continuing to circle, continuing to move. Meanwhile, the other folks are hissing to each other, whispering, and eventually one of them nods a few times. It's a strange gesture to see a snake do. Their necks don't really...
Yeah.
You assume it's a nod. It's an alien movement. And they move away, heading first over to the exit that leads further up into the facility and then vanishing from sight.
Hell, that's the best chance I'm getting. I'm going to rush them and try and just run past.
You are going to try and run past the barricade?
Yep.
Okay, fantastic.
You're not going back for your gun?
I'll get it later.
Alrighty.
All right. You get down into...
We all knew we weren't seeing that gun again.
Damn, I don't really like that gun. And I cannot afford another one. I have $5 to my name.
You bend
What
down...
gun was it?
It went bang. I don't know. It was a small... It was a pistol.
Bang and it turned.
I don't know. It was real cool. Yeah, sorry,
you
Jim.
bend down into a sprinter's position, you get ready, and you surge forward, going at top speed, heading directly for the barricade, and we'll come back to you in a second, as back in the other room, I have a couple of questions. Blanca, I asked Reese and Mac about their history with violence, but you've had quite a history of violence yourself. You were an outlaw for many, many years. They might have experience with seeing shots fired, but, Grease is pretty young. He hasn't been in a lot of fights, and Mac's a lawman. So while he might have seen a lot of battle, he didn't necessarily see a lot of death because there's a lot of arrests. What was the first time Blanca saw someone got shot dead?
So it was not long after she ran away from her family, left South Carolina to come to New Mexico, I think. Hazy on the exact state, but it was a while ago now, so it doesn't really matter. But it was in the New World. Took a job with like a local band, was kind of like desperate and low on money. And it was meant to be something really simple. It was just meant to be like a stagecoach robbery. This was, sorry, what was the problem? It was like first time I saw someone killed.
Get shot dead.
Shot dead. It was meant to be a like simple stagecoach robbery. We had heard the family were just like a, like a well-to-do church-going family. They wouldn't give us too much trouble. But the like dad had kind of like a crazy look in his eye and just like massacred my comrades.
Wow.
And I only managed to get away because I was like young and nimble, and so that kind of always put me on my guard to like never take a situation for granted and to never just no, more than that, to never give them the chance.
Yeah.
Not to necessarily like approach things carefully, but to be like, no, we got to go in as quick as we can.
Don't give people a chance to wound you. It's a good philosophy. Now, down here, you are feeling slightly trapped. That philosophy might be difficult to execute, but you're surrounded by some allies for now, at least, and they still seem to be breathing. You've broken open all of the cages now and gathered up the prisoners. They are in various states of helpfulness. Basically, the only two who are really able to do anything to be of any serious assistance is Decaya and Jameson. I'm going to organize people in tiers of rows because I think that is somewhat helpful. Hiram Colby appears to be relatively coherent, but does stop and need prompting and direction. Prosper Dickinson is the person who keeps going and realizing things, but is at least moving and mobile, as is Vera, a young woman who can sort of move but doesn't really say anything and doesn't do much. Now, unfortunately, the last three are almost immobile. Mandy is very small and refuses to run, refuses to do anything like that, just kind of sits towards the side. I'm going to butcher some names, so I apologize here. But Noroso, a older woman, is humming and singing a soft song to herself and will sit, but has to be picked up to be, carried out of the cage that they were in. And Sonsiere appears to be sort of squinting and trying to help as if they're fighting through the fog that's clouding their mind, but that fog is so thick and so difficult to overcome that they really aren't able to do much.
Now, do anything about them?
You can be trying to treat them. Who are you focusing on? Who are you focusing your treatment on? Basically, one of the groups. Do you want to be focusing on the people who are in the most, the most helpless position to try and get them able to move around, or maybe focusing on people like Hiram and Vera, who maybe with some treatment could actually become useful and be able to, wield a gun or help carry the others and things like that?
Yeah, I think getting more people Copus to help us with the rest is probably the best. The ones that are out of it are going to take a longer time to come to, and we don't have that time. So
okay, make a medicine check for me.
All right.
Dude, have we got enough time for you to cut me up a slice of that medicine check?
That's
No,
sweet medicine.
Unfortunately not, really.
Literally won't be
Unfortunately,
able to help you because I can.
Yeah, you should have just said something earlier.
Ooh, that's good. That's good. That's a good roll. That's a very good roll.
Okay.
It's quite a good roll.
Let's go back.
With a collection of sort of talking and focusing to these people, you give them some words to repeat to keep themselves focused. You use some smelling salts and some chemicals. Your supplies are pretty depleted based on what you've already used into this adventure so far, but you're able to get two of them into a position where they're able to help. So who would you like to have on your side? Hiram, Prosper Dickinson rather, or Vera Wright?
Vera, you already
Vera
said you're the strongest.
And one more?
Out of Hiram and the other prospecting gentleman, who looks like they're going to be the most helpful, is the strongest.
You reckon that... One second, as I check my Shadows of Stillwater book to make sure I have the correct information for you.
Would an extreme success help all three?
Yes, it would.
That's 4 points of luck for you there. If you
I have 4
can.
points of luck. I want all of them.
Okay, all right. They are all
The trifecta.
they're all good.
They're all...
Thank you for making those markings.
You'll
that is
never
very-
know.
Yeah.
who could it have been? It was me. I did it. I'll take credit.
Hey,
Oh, I'm so helpful. Oh, I'm just
you're not
the
doing
best.
anything. Go get my gun.
I am doing something. I'm gonna go across to these cages over here with the weird sort of half snake people.
Yep.
And can I use an animal handling check to sort of vibe them out and see if they are like I want to like as if they were like they were dogs. I want to see if they're super aggressive. I want to see if they are
Yep.
like I'm vibing.
Make that absolutely something you can do. Make an animal handling check.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we still have Blanca and Mac. What are the two of you doing?
I guess if I'm not getting any immediate medical attention, no worries.
I am fine to heal you. We just need time.
I think I'd like to hang out near the tunnel where Grease disappeared to.
Okay.
So that I can render assistance.
Oh,
does care.
I was really hoping no one would say that.
I'm curious.
Was it over here? Was it over here?
It's over the direction I am.
Oh, you went in here.
Oh, you went in that way.
You went in
oh,
here,
so
yeah,
you're
yeah,
running. You're not trying to vault the barricade. You're going to be running the.
Oh
Going
no.
back towards
I'm vaulting the barricade to come back. This is just the way I went.
In which
he's
case,
going back a different way than he came in.
Yeah, helpfully.
In which case, Mac is in the wrong place.
Yes. Okay, but that is perfect to know because it makes total sense that you would go there.
Yeah, I'm hoping you come back the way you went.
Blanca.
I'm curious if any of our new friends are willing and able to help us fight, even if they don't have any weapons.
Um.
There's rocks
so
around.
Yep.
Grab a
You
stick.
have a chat. You have a chat with them. Decaya is sort of nods solemnly and says, I will fight, and if you get me a weapon, I will be able to fight better. Jameson is a little more like, oh boy, well, I really don't like to hurt people, sure it goes against my nature if I do say so myself, but I suppose I could be convinced. Really, we have to wonder about the philosophy of harming these creatures. I
think it's kind of life or death. I don't think we really have a choice.
But I suppose, I awfully would like to go back to see my family and my children. So I suppose it does seem in some ways a responsibility of mine, as terrible as that is to say.
Getting it.
I check out of this conversation.
Yeah, look, these folks will be, they will hit an attack, but they're also pretty exhausted after having been kept prisoner for so long. They're not going to be an amazing asset to you.
I probably would have asked whichever one's willing to take care of the other three. So
Sure, that they will happily help carry the others. So you at the very least don't have to focus on lifting these people and directing them forward. There is enough that they will be able to run as a group pretty quickly, but not as quickly as Grease. It's coming. Don't worry.
I am worried.
Animal handling. How'd you go?
I got a hard success.
All right, good. So you get towards these creatures and you lean forward, and they are serpent-like. They're a little monstrous. It is hard to kind of, they don't react like you would expect an animal to. They are sort of halfway between reptilian and maybe what you might see of a very aggressive dog. Speaking of dog, your mind casts to your dog somewhere out in the Mesa, and you hope they're all right. We'll have to see.
Surrounded by the undead.
What you
Dog can take care of himself. I believe in Dog.
Exactly. You manage to get to a point where you are pretty reliably able to kind of lean in and not really touch these creatures, but you are within striking range of them, and they're not attacking you. You are able to sort of present yourself as not a threat. You reckon that if you did so carefully and kept people pretty well separated, you would actually be able to have these things walk around and not be violently attacking you. They seem to have identified you as people that they just don't attack. Unfortunately, with a hard success, I will tell you that based on that kind of behavior, you think that they probably are able to identify things as threats or friendly or not, and based on that, they probably wouldn't attack the serpent people either.
Okay. And these cages look just as hard to open as the other ones.
Yes, these cages are probably a little more simply made. Yeah, they're not They're not security. They're just holding, essentially.
All right, all of the thing. I don't think I'm going to let him out, but all right.
You for what it's worth, you reckon you could let them out and have them wandering around, and they wouldn't. You'd be at more risk of Blanca shooting you than these things biting you.
Oh,
at this
all
stage.
right. I'll let him out. I don't like things being in cages. I don't think it's fair.
Yeah.
I don't think things should be kept in cages. So yeah, I'll set about letting them out as best I can. Although I suspect I will be interrupted by Grease's sudden return to the situation.
Well, you have a little while, so you at least let the ones
While the experiments begin.
Down the bottom, sort of through, and they basically cluster and wander about. One of them sort of just nestles into the crook where Grease was and sort of lies there, relatively happy. They don't appear to be particularly stressed. Or any of the others of you trying to stop this, or do you have any objection?
They seem able to take care of themselves, right? They're like they're like animals, right?
Yes, they're like animals. Yeah.
Yeah, they're just like, okay. Yeah, they're fine. They'll be fine.
I mean, I see that it's Griff doing it, so I trust him. I feel like he knows what he's doing. And I'm probably gonna keep an eye out. I still have my gun with me, but
Probably a good call.
He's not a silly man. He probably knows what he's doing.
Yeah, easy. All right.
I still don't think it's such a bad thing if we make it look like we're going to shoot him.
We're not going to shoot him. We're not going to shoot him, Mac.
I don't think we
Well,
should shoot
there's
him.
no reason that they need to know that.
But you said we
Okay.
want to make it look like we're going to shoot him.
Yeah, if we get out there and if it brings them pause to hesitate,
I don't
if
know
they think
about.
we're going to shoot their dogs, then that's not such a bad thing.
Should we call them dogs? Do they call them... You know what I mean? If we say we're going to shoot your dogs and they're like, but we don't have any dogs, what are you talking? What's a dog? You're not here, Grace. I can still hear him.
He's always in our hearts.
Drop my fucking gun!
Yeah, we have
cut off.
you have a backup gun, right, Grace?
I don't have a backup gun. I should have brought a
There's
backup
a weird
gun.
whistling coming down this time.
Yeah, I don't know what
I
that
ran
is.
out of
It's a whisper of the
armor.
wind.
Well, speaking of
It sounds really lame.
I'm not
Lame
lame.
screaming.
Shut up.
Sounds like some
of which,
dumb kid who ran into a situation without
I'm not
thinking about the
coming
consequences.
Joining the lizards.
Speaking of which, Joseph, you've gone through and you've helped these people. You've managed to get them more focused, and they seem to be responding well. Mac, you're leaning down, you're watching the tunnel, and as you glance ahead, you're leaning, trying to get the light through, and you almost think you see a glint up ahead. And is that Grease's belt? Is that Grease's gun? But as you think that, all of a sudden, you hear a sudden scream coming from the other side of the cavern as Grease, you come tearing forward, sprinting past these creatures here, sprinting past the other two creatures who immediately head towards you, towards the barricade. The serpents are going to spin towards you as you are
good.
running forward. You leap at them as they ready your weapons. Do you have any cool, badass words that you cry?
Yeah, get the hell out of my way! And then I just tried to hoof it past them. I'm relying on surprise here mainly.
You dive forward, leaping up, and we'll choose exactly then to go to a quick
Oh.
break.
I don't like that.
Leave you in suspense. We'll be right back. We'll see you in 10 minutes. Welcome back, everybody, to the stream of chaos. We're not going to introduce anything. We're going to jump right back into the action because it is action-packed. Grease, you are leaping through the air. There are serpent people around you. There are ravenous
Serpent people!
snake monsters
There's
dying
what?
behind you. Chaos, noise, excitement. Roll for me because you are vaulting the barricade. A jump check.
Oh, what?
If you're jumping over the barricade.
Yeah, that one
feeling-
thing you're really good at, jumping.
40 points, mate. Peep it.
Yeah.
Shit.
You dive for the barricade and you realize this thing is too high to jump cleanly. You're going to have to land on it, and that's when you realize that it is sharp. It is jagged. There are
That's
things all
what?
across it. I'm going to give you two options. You can either slow down and try and think of another approach.
No breaks, mate.
I'm sure these things will be reasonable. You can talk to them. You can negotiate. Or You can push the roll, hurl yourself at the barricade. If you fail, you'll still get over, but you're going to cut yourself badly, and your shimmering shield is breaking apart.
This has failed at the first hurdle, literally. I'm going to continue. There's no breaks.
Too late. I think Pastor is going to force you to push it.
You can't force him to push it if he was already going to push it. No breaks, push.
Very cool. I have so much luck. I could have just lucked it. All right.
Push it to the
You gotta push it now.
I see how sharp those things look. I find a place to plant my hands. I'm gonna do a sweet parkour vault 20 years or 100 years before that was a thing. Here we go.
Nice.
I've invented parkour. Yeah.
As soon as you hit the ground, you start speaking
meme
French.
where people run at things and yell "grease" as they throw themselves over.
Greasy.
Get down to the patent office now.
Grease lightning.
An extreme success. My God.
I'm taking it.
You were tearing through. They're swinging around weapons, and you all in the other room here, get the hell out of my way. And, you put your hand and you vault forward, wheeling around and land in a roll and then come up running. A second later, there are beams flying straight after you, but with an extreme success, they have about as much... they can't hit you.
Because my plan didn't make any
second
sense. They
later,
didn't expect it.
Grease, you appear
You're
around
right.
the
Who would
corner.
have thought you would run straight at them from the other direction?
And I want to time my entrance just in time for someone to say he's not going to make it, and then I want to come through.
I haven't stopped saying that. Every time, he's dead. He's definitely dead.
We
gotta
should
go.
just leave.
You come tearing through just in time to see these snake things in the middle of the room, and you kind of jump back for a second, but then you realize that they appear to just be lying down, and Griff is standing just nearby them. They do not appear to be threatening. Griff, you are back with your companions. What would you like to do?
There's a bunch of snakes. Followed me. We got like 10 seconds. I dropped my gun. It's in that hole over there. Anyone got a second?
I'll
Silence.
grab it. You said I could see it glinting,
No.
right? So I can grab it?
Yep.
I'll try grabbing it.
Okay, Mac dives down and scuttles forward, going for the gun. The rest of you sort of move forward. Grease has said you have seconds left. Start positioning yourselves. Where are you going to be? Put on the map where you are. If you're shepherding people,
I'll be there.
put them where you're telling them to go. Start arranging things. Mac,
Where are they coming from?
Same direction, I
Grease is
presume.
pointing back in the direction that he came from.
I aim down the corridor.
It's my plan.
All right,
I'll
you're
update the
aiming
map.
down the corridor. Mac, make for me a climb check. If you go ahead
Not
and
a
fumble it, that'd be great.
climb. I'm not climbing anywhere.
Climbing through the rocks. It makes 100% sense. I agree. It's the same theory of... It's bouldering.
Alright. So you start
You just want to
creeping
use the word
forward into this
bouldering.
thing,
I
but
did wanna
pretty
use the word
quickly
bouldering.
you get forward to the gun, you grab it, and you think everything is good, and then you realize you can't go backwards. It's a completely different motion to edge back along the pathway, and you're feeling relatively trapped. You can push the roll, and you can try and sort of twist yourself around, but you risk, I don't know, losing your gun, for example, or you can continue forward. Maybe this is a flanking maneuver. Maybe this is what you want
It
to
would be
do.
phenomenal if Mac pops back up and he's like, I lost both of them. Like,
Also, he went in there with his gun. Like, he knew you'd lose your gun. Like, he didn't take it off and leave it.
it's like, well, it's not going to happen twice, is
I
it?
don't want to, I'm not going to separate myself from my gun.
Blanca, you need to go in there as well. You need to go after his gun. He keeps going,
What
leaves
if
his gun.
I shoot at the tunnel to make it wider?
While he's in it.
How does
No,
that
you're not
help?
shooting it when I am. So, are you telling me
like-
if I keep going forward, I can keep my gun?
Yeah, and greases.
All right, can I throw greases back to him?
Sorry, no space around you, I'm afraid. Blanca, it's a
Where
good
the
idea.
hell's he
Unfortunately, rock walls. You
No, it was-
shotgun.
It was a deliberately bad idea.
I was trying to be nice. It's a terrible idea. You would immediately kill Mac.
Yes,
but
and
Yes.
would be a great idea though.
And he will die.
Explosives. Those would probably work.
Ooh, wait, really?
I just want to clarify.
I mean, you
Mac
killed
has
Mac
now
even more.
disappeared up that tunnel, indefinite. Like he's gone.
And I'm watching him like he's coming back, right?
You went
It
up,
must be
maybe.
a way. Can I have a dex roll to I can like
3-point
drop
turn.
Grease's gun and just kick it behind me. If I can climb in further, I can move my legs so I can kick it behind me.
Yep, go ahead. You can make a dex roll to get specifically to get the gun back.
Sleight of
Actually,
hand?
it would be sleight of hand. Yeah,
It's sleight of foot.
It is technically a different skill.
Well,
Well, in that
I mean,
case,
if
it's
we're
jump.
getting specific, you know,
What if he's
our
using
feet are
his-
basically just differently evolved hands. So
Leg hands, as I call them.
All right, you gonna make me do this? Sleight of
Okay.
hand.
I think you should
Sleight
let
of
him use
hand.
jump because he's essentially like pushing
A
it
sweet
down
little
with his
kick
leg.
move.
really, it's probably a library use.
Library use will tell you.
The action is very similar. You take out the book, you take the gun,
you
you
put
throw
it down
it downwards.
in the book
kick
bag.
And you kick it. Yeah, I'm in the libraries.
What's the final call?
Sleight of hand.
Oh, we can have 7 points of luck.
Okay,
well
fantastic.
done.
In which case, you're looking frantically, Grease, and it's a second
Where
later.
the
you see
hell's
this
he
loud-
going?
There's this skidding noise, and your pistol
What is
appears,
that?
but Mac's gone.
I pick up the pistol. I go,
I'll call
net
back.
Mac.
I'll call back. I can't get back. I'll have to loop around and try to take him from behind.
I'll tell him where it turns out. It's like, keep going. You'll pop out in the room we were in earlier, and then you can come in from the top. We'll pincer maneuver. We'll get him in the middle.
All right.
Oh wait, no, sorry. Can I just say one more thing? Do you want me to come with you?
No, you got the best. You got the best shot. You stay there and make sure they don't get any of the folks.
All right.
I would love it if this turned
Little compliment for
into
me.
you did a whole lap and then you're just about to do another whole lap and then you two come around the next corner. Like and then you two barrel through again.
No one else go in the hole.
No one else can. You're the only two who can fit
Oh
in
yeah,
the
that's
hole.
right.
A second later, there's an enormous noise that comes from the side of the room, as insulted by your leap through them and realizing they have to make a move again. You hear a hissing charge as these creatures burst in. Three of them this time. I appear to have bought part of the D from Bad Guys with me.
It's
I'll
almost
delete it.
tactical now.
Thank you.
God, they're in
And
a
you can
death
loudly hear them sort of like hissing, screaming, and the noise of more of these sort of deformed serpent creatures coming from elsewhere. Everyone, we're
Historically,
going to with standard dex order. You cannot see whether these smaller monsters are. You don't know what they are doing. Also, the snakes that you released, Griff, appear to be sort of getting up and panicking. They don't really know what to do. You're not sure if they're going to leap to attack. You're not sure what's going to happen there. Surely it won't be pretty, though. First to act is Mac. Now, considering that you are there, Mac, we're going to move your token just into here because you are currently like inside the tunnel. You're more about here for reference.
Thank you.
And I lied. The others can't see any of the approaching horde because it's not coming their way, but you know that they tend to come through this area. So as you were climbing, a second later, you can see one of the snake things scuttling through towards you, and you've got your rifle in one hand, and suddenly you're looking for a fight in close quarters. You spot this thing, and it snarls and wriggles straight at you, looking to bite you, looking to tear you apart. What would you like to do?
Well, that didn't figure into it. That wasn't part of the deal. I would care to shoot it in its scaly face.
Okay. If anything, this is a hard shot, but if anything, this is point blank range, so it's going to be a standard shot.
That makes sense. Like he's basically like firing straight ahead.
If anything, this thing has no way to dodge. It's going to try and riposte you as a Hail Mary. I just sort of smack your gun out of the way, scuttle towards you, tear at you a little bit. You fire, it claws. But your gun lands true, and you fire straight into its face, dealing
5 damage.
5 damage to it. All
Doesn't
right.
seem like a lot.
Okay. You've heard it, and it. Oop. You know, it's funny hitting F5 instead of 5 and refreshing a page instead of altering the health slightly. So here we are. I'm back. you have wounded the creature, but knocked it backwards, but it does not appear to be. It is not being killed. Meanwhile, across to Greece, what are you doing?
Hey, Doc, y'all reckon you know the word for surrender? Or see if you can coax it out of him.
Right.
And I'll point a gun at him. And can I, like, as soon as Doc tries to get them to yield, I'll shoot after that. If they don't go for it. And also, I just want to walk up and towards him. I'll move towards here. Just kind of putting myself between the others.
You scream to Doc. Doc, you are going to yell your best approximation of the word for surrender. I want one of you to make an intimidate check with advantage. With a bonus die. Unfortunately, you're inside a tunnel dueling with a snake.
I'm pretty sure my intimidation is base.
I suspect Griff's is very similar.
How come you're the one getting my name wrong? And it's not. I have
Oh,
points
it's my name. You're right. Ooh.
Yeah. I have some points in it. I'll roll.
Go for it.
Yep. All right.
You're the one with the gun.
God damn it. Hang on. Bonus
All
die.
right.
Bonus die, bonus die, bonus die. Pay no mind, pay no mind.
You did it.
I mean, literally, the tiny child murdered one of them and then jumped their barricade.
And then turned around and went, "Give up!"
The most powerful Cthulhu investigator. Child with gun. Yield!
Now the keeper's like, what do I do now? They have technically succeeded.
I am the monster of their dungeon. They all roll sanity when they see me.
Yeah. You just check the Chaosium 2 channel and they're running a game for a bunch of full snake people who were like, the humans are overpowered.
And there's one of them's going like, I don't even believe in greases. Greases aren't real.
Greases are silly.
No, there's a grease under your bed. Be careful.
Oh, dear God. Okay.
I just hate greases. Ooh, they just freak me out. I'm not afraid of them. They just weed me out.
Just creepy. You know they sleep all summer?
That's weird. It's so weird. Uh-oh.
I don't like that they're succeeding.
that one I'm okay with.
Take that, you lizards.
I mean, that's pretty definitive to me.
I'll give him one across the bow.
Okay. So they truly, you did burst into their, their home. They were not expecting a coordinated assault.
It wasn't coordinated.
You appear to have, for what it's worth, taken these things by surprise. Now, let's go from least terrifying name to most terrifying name. The geneticist. I'm going to qualify as the least terrifying. The geneticist.
Oh, what? I thought that was scary.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty terrifying.
Marksman's the least scary.
I would like.
In terms of spooky or in terms of
uplifted spooky? Uplifted's like, what are they uplifting?
Yeah.
Let's go from which one has the highest skill in beam rifle to the lowest skill in beam rifle.
All right.
What?
What?
Sorry, I think it's beam crystal tech. Sorry, beam weapon crystal. Gotta be specific.
Yes.
I could use one of those.
Oh, you're not saying
all right.
beam, right?
So the geneticist who has the lowest skill in beam weapon crystal succeeds utterly and moves forward, hissing at you, screaming, and you realize that the geneticist is the one that has been talking to you all this time. And it says, "You must surrender. You will die." As its allies to the left, the uplifted, who has the second most least skill in beam rifle, freezes. Having failed, and is actually going to miss a turn. Meanwhile, the marksman, critical failures, gives into complete panic and runs, tearing away, and vanishes around the corner.
Nice, nerd.
The geneticist does not look happy. That's your turn.
He's the leader. If we kill him, if we take him out, you chop the head off the snake.
But then three more snakes come out.
That is your turn. Greece, we are now across to the Serpents. The uplifted is hesitating, and you don't actually see the uplifted properly now. It appears that this one, it's a little more hunched over. It's a little more like actually the serpents that you freed from those cages. It appears that their experiments have been at least somewhat successful, and this creature appears more like the ones that you have seen nearby. It just appears to have some extra intelligence implanted into it. It is frozen in panic. Some of its animalistic instincts have taken over, but the geneticist, the one that is pure evil, is going to leap forward, diving straight for Blanca, and is going to make a shot straight at you. Blanca, would you like to dodge, or you cannot riposte, considering that this is a firearms effect?
And to be clear, the dive for cover removes your next turn.
Yes, unless you are Grease, who can dive for cover because of their pulp talent.
You
Is
may
dodge
just want to
different
take it.
from dive for cover?
Yes.
Dodge is the skill for dive for cover, yes.
Wait, no, but can I dodge separately from diving from cover?
No,
Okay.
No. It's
And
an
if you
see-
succeed, you impose a penalty die. It's not necessarily like it's less powerful.
It's not a
What is he firing at me with? Is it one of the beams?
It's one of the strange crystals, yes.
meme
I'll be
crystal.
fine. I'll stand my ground.
Okay. In which case, they are going to fire. This is point blank range.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh yes!
I made a mistake.
It's
All right.
happening.
So you stand your
Mistake.
ground, and the crystal slams directly into you, Blanca, and you go flying backwards. A raw kinetic force that is so incredibly localized. It feels like it breaks the center of your chest as soon as it hits.
Oh,
into
really
you.
neat.
You just been run over by a truck.
Do these impale?
Yeah.
Do beam rifles impale?
I'm getting my karma from that time in the previous campaign where I ran over Jamie with a truck.
That is, he's biding his time. He's been waiting this whole time.
The beam rifle
She
fires
shadows
a
over
truck.
Stillwater. I tear off the cover. I haven't been running from the book. I've been running from the everything to be mean to Rachael book.
it's like trucks over Stillwater.
My plan
Fucks
to
over
get
Javier.
Rachel back.
Jose.
Trucks over Jose Castillo. So
We love to disguise our pain. This is not going to end well.
fortunately, the
good news is-
secondary damage roll was relatively low. The crystal hits, and you are going to take 10 damage.
That's it.
That's not.
Yeah.
We don't have major wounds, do we?
Not in pulp, no.
That's it.
I'm good. I'm still on 8 health.
All right, so you're flung
Suck
backwards
it,
a little
crystal
bit, but
lizard.
you actually manage to keep your footing, and you sort of you take this thing. This is a heavy hit, and you're still there. You're still ready to fight, bringing your shotgun around. Speaking of which, it's your turn.
Cool. I'm gonna hit the geneticist with my shotgun.
Please do.
Hang on, how far away am I? Ooh, 14 feet.
That's kill
Okay.
range.
Yeah.
All points of the shotgun. Fire your shot.
Bang.
Okay, did that? Okay, yes, that went. Hard success.
All right, and the damage on that is going to be 12.
If it was in point blank, surely Blanca's in point Blanca,
Absolutely, point Blanca.
as,
So
as,
yeah,
as we call it in the business.
point Blanca. I like it.
Oh, can I spend? You can't luck combat rolls, can you?
You absolutely can luck combat rolls.
You also you have,
Cool,
you have,
'cause
you have a
I'm-
bonus dice as well.
What for?
You're in point
You're in
Blanca
point blank
range.
range.
Oh, I didn't do that. How do I? You just type in 1.
Just click bonus / penalty.
Submit the
Yeah, you got it.
bonus. Yeah. Can I just spend
Submit.
1 luck? Because then it's an extreme success. Do I have
Yes, you can.
Turn it to paste. We are the monster in this dungeon.
Gosh,
They will
Gosh
fear
darn it,
us.
you stupid snakes. Why can't you be stronger?
yeah, that geneticist is going down.
I mean,
well, the problem is as I've established, extreme successes bypass their armor. So you go from dealing no damage to this thing to as it steps forward, you cannot defeat and blast straight into this thing. As I've established, 24 damage plus 13, 37 damage.
In my mind, you push the shotgun barrel like through the thing, and then like
past the
fire
laser
in like
shield or
point
whatever.
blank range.
yeah, maybe the
All
armor
right.
doesn't go cover his mouth.
Oh,
For shit talking.
In which case, if you'll indulge me, as this is Cthulhu, a little gory detail, you jam the gun in, and when you fire, the magnetic field holds the body together for a second, so you're staring at a blood bag for just a moment before it all collapses.
Oh,
I love it.
hell yeah, that's phenomenal.
All right,
Ew.
so a second later, the geneticist, the leader of this pack, is gone, leaving just the uplifted standing there, having been abandoned by the marksman. And it is your turn, Doc. What would you like to do?
I think y'all should get behind this rock and stay safe.
Everybody stay.
Just like hold up here. It's gonna be all right.
You are speaking calmly to these people. You are stopping them from panicking. Can you make a persuade check or a
Psychology?
Yeah, I'll let a psychology check work. You're sort of guessing, what they need to hear at this stage.
I don't know if my
Ooh, that's good.
That's good.
So you've
like
got
it.
them. Yeah, you are all in cover. Functionally, you've protected all of them from any last minute attacks, last minute disasters, and they appear to be as well very happy to listen to you. So you reckon you'll be able to steer them in the right direction should any more disasters occur. Although you tend to be stopping anything bad from happening so far, because inside the tunnel you fired a shot. Mac, you pull your rifle back, seeing the smoke clear. Did you make it? And then suddenly teeth, fangs come rushing towards you. Make a riposte or a dodge check for me.
I believe you said that it had no room to dodge, so I imagine I don't either.
You're right, you probably don't.
You could riposte with your rifle, though, sure.
I would love to. And that's just a regular rifle check.
Yep.
Rifle roll. Let's have a go.
Give it a whirl.
Oof.
Regular success.
Ooh, it looks like it wins ties.
Is it
Yes,
too late to spend my 6 points of luck, or that would be a bit cheap, wouldn't it?
You didn't. Yeah, I'm sorry. I think
That's all right. I didn't jump in there fast enough.
So this thing dives forward and begins to hit at you, and you're feeling like the claws crunch in your face. You're already wounded. All of the injuries that you had back from
It's actually just one injury from stepping
from
on a grenade.
The grenade injured you in a fair few ways in its defense.
Yeah, I
Good
also got hurt by
night.
the grenade.
I technically have a real life relative who stepped on a grenade.
Really?
Oof.
Technically a mine.
How'd
Yeah.
they do?
They lost a leg.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they lived. It was a training exercise.
Oh, ooh.
A good time.
Yeah. What were they training? The live mine.
They were training people how to find mines and disarm them.
Well, he was the winner. They were the winner, I guess.
I mean,
You
it won't
found
blow
it.
anyone else up.
Jeez.
Ooh, this is dark.
Mhm.
All right. Max, about to
On the
lose a bet.
point of darkness, how much?
Good
health-
night.
I've looked at your health,
Yeah, it's not great.
and just to prove that I am by no means a nice keeper. Let me show you exactly how much this thing is going to be doing in
And that's
damage
all
wise.
pretty close to
1d4. Fantastic.
double it.
You take 3 damage.
I can take it.
You can take it. Okay.
How much are you on, Jackson?
Oh, we've lost you.
A healthy 2,
Oh,
I think.
hello?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're back. We're back. Okay.
Sorry. I was on 5, now I'm down 2.
Okay.
Got one to spare.
You are covered in blood. You are hardly holding yourself together at this stage. You are already kind of like in your last stand, and now you suddenly feel like you're about to die in a tunnel, crushed around, fighting some kind of horror from beyond any experience that you've had. I'm gonna interrupt things. Another quick flashback. I've asked a couple of questions, but now I want to ask Joseph. You've treated a lot of injuries. You've seen people shot dead, but also, other things happen. What is the injury you treated that got to you the most? Doesn't have to be particularly gory or anything like that, but what had the most lasting effect on Joseph?
My pa fought in the war, and when he came back, he wasn't right in the head so much. Took to drinking, one night when I was young, 14, 15, coming back from the doc's office, I'd been training. I surprised him and pulled out his 6-shooter and tried to take a shot off, thinking I was some kind of invader. My sister Peggy jumped in front of him and took a bullet to the spine. We do some real unpleasant things as doctors, but the hardest thing of all is sometimes you gotta keep going even when they're begging you to stop. Because if you stop, they'll die. So, I worked on my sister. She come good, but she don't walk so good no more, and well, Pa took himself up the side of the water tower in town and challenged God to a duel. And kind of guess who won. That's my story.
Wow. So you have seen injury, and you can see what happens when a single shot goes wrong here. And though the circumstances are different here, there is you trapped alone in the dark, Mac, fighting desperately toe for toe with this thing. You were in the same kind of struggle for your life, desperately trying to stop this creature from tearing you apart. You have 2 health. It only has a couple of hit points left. The 2 of you are locked in half embrace, half struggle for survival, and it is your turn.
Well, me.
Yes.
I think it's
Oh
Griff.
gosh, I skipped you, Griff. Sorry. I went right back up to the top.
It's all right.
Okay, it's not like I was gonna do anything useful anyway.
Griff, hit me.
No, it's fine.
I will fire at the
The uplifted?
Lifted. I think.
Okay, thank you.
That's not going to spook any lizard dogs.
Well, we're about to find out. All right.
right.
I succeed.
A large gun shot goes out. The lizard dog things scatter, moving sideways. Considering you got a hard success earlier, they're not going to immediately turn and attack you. Instead, they seemed panicked. But you have a couple of seconds at the very least. You have succeeded, and your damage is 14 points. So this is not going... This breaks the shield apart, overwhelming it, and you are going to deal 4 points of damage to this creature. It staggers backwards, hissing. You have wounded it. Do you yell anything, or are you a quiet hunter?
Oh, I'm quiet. Ain't no use yelling or hollering about anything.
Fair enough. A single shot. This creature is staggering backwards, and now, Mac, alone in the dark. What are you doing?
Can I still shoot it?
Absolutely.
I shoot it.
All right. Make me your firearms check.
All right, here we go.
Ooh.
Okay. Oh wait, hold on. You might want to luck that down to a hard success.
Preemptively, good call.
Preemptively, because if this thing, it's up to you.
Yeah, I would like it to die.
Yes, one.
and I would like you not to die.
10 points of luck for you there, Jamie.
10 points of luck.
Treat him well.
And this creature is going to attempt to riposte you. You're struggling with it. Your rifle goes off in the dark. You can't see whether you got it or not.
Yes.
Whoa.
Would you like to take over, Jackson? Do you want to describe the scene a little bit?
Oh, it's like a jostling. I'm trying to like push it back and forth. In the darkness, I can barely see. It's just flashes of shadowed shapes lashing out at me and teeth dripping. So I'm pushing back with anything, my hands, my arms, and my gun. And then at some point, I hear a wet squelch as I realize the end of my rifle is directly down its throat. And I pull the trigger.
A second later, the creature stops moving, and you find yourself edging past this corpse as you continue on your frantic struggle forwards, dragging yourself and heading deeper and deeper into the tunnel. Outside, Grease, you can see that the uplifted does not want to be here. It appears to be running. It appears to be trying to flee.
Go on, get the hell out of here.
You let it go?
Yeah.
Okay, in which case it is going to dart away, sprinting for cover, for distance, for anything. And a second later, you're left alone in this small cave. The people come out with Doc and sort of peek around. You appear to have fought them back, and you can't hear any noises from up ahead. There's no more hissing, there's no more snarling, there's no more howling.
Hell, the way that thing ran is the way Mac's gonna turn out. We gotta get there quickly, or he's gonna get a surprise.
All right.
Ain't no time to waste then.
Well,
Where are we going?
Blanca, are you all right? You took a devil of a hit.
I've just been knocked around. I'll be fine. Am I injured? I'm.
Yeah, you took a strong hit. It's internal. You know, your clothes. In fact, your clothes look like they've been ironed right in the middle of you. They've been sort of pressed flat with a massive force. It was a pretty strong hit. You feel like you might have cracked a rib or something, or maybe you're just really winded. It hurt like hell, but you're okay.
Yeah, well, my grandpappy used to say if you can't see the bleeding,
you should be the doctor.
You don't need to worry about it.
Totally logical.
That is a great line.
Yeah, that is. I'll take that to heart. Is that thing's beam crystal around?
Yeah, you can grab. You want to grab a beam crystal?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
You.
What's
you
a
grab
beam crystal?
There's two of them actually. There is also the beam crystal that was dropped by the initial creature that you killed.
Anyone else want a beam crystal?
I wouldn't mind grabbing one just to see if it has any kind of medical uses.
I think it's a
arguing
weapon.
about beam crystals.
This young generation with their beam crystals, they don't understand what a good old-fashioned gun do.
How many are there?
My daddy had a gun. My daddy's daddy had a gun.
Okay.
Y'all
You
want
take
one,
one.
Blanca?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
All right. Well, I'll hold it until we get back to Mac. All right. I want to turn to the shitload of people following us.
Yep.
Follow us. We will lead you
absolutely.
to safety.
They are pretty happy to follow at this stage, and after a little bit more encouragement from Doc, they hurry along after you. A couple of seconds later, the collection of you find yourself in the next room along, and you see a bloodied, battered, but somehow still clinging to life Mac drag themselves out, pull themselves up, and sort of stare out towards the collection of you still alive.
Is there no
There ain't nothing in here.
Thing?
Mac,
Oh, is it?
you're all right?
I'm all right.
Dog, he don't look too good.
No, he does not. We're in the medical room, aren't we?
You absolutely are.
Mac, I want you to come over here and sit down for me.
Well, I'm sure it's nothing too serious.
Mac,
but if you need
sit down.
I sit down.
You sit down after commandments from the doctor.
Only time I get mad at people. And then sit down.
Make a first aid check for me, please, Joseph. The collection of you are sort of gathering around. It seems that you have these things in full retreat. You can actually see where they can escape it. You know, they have run. There isn't even any of the small snakes in here. You're only in here for a few seconds though, as Doc, you get forward towards Mac and start to try and patch him up, but you can see pretty easily the injuries that he has. You know, this is not something that you can just fix. This is something that's going to take bed rest and longer term, possibly some minor surgery. Definitely getting out of a cave where giant lizards with beam crystals are going to try and kill you.
Is any of his blood on the outside?
Oh, you're plenty.
There's plenty.
Oh no. Things are serious.
I'm gonna patch him up in the sense of I've got bandages and things. It's not gonna do anything mechanically, but obviously I'll make sure it's all wrapped up so I ain't gonna get scratched up a bunch more. But right, we need to get you out of here, Mac. So I think we better hustle.
Now, it does take you maybe a minute or two, sort of staying here, getting your bearings, getting everyone to clamber over the the barricade. It's actually really dangerous to climb. It's covered in spikes. You definitely couldn't just run over it and then flip with one hand, sprinting down the hallway. That would be absolutely impossible.
I've got a big, like, two-handed axe that I could use to like hack away at some stuff that I have on my back.
Perfect, absolutely. So you can actually speed up the process a little bit.
I'm telling everyone how I jumped it, and no one was believing me, I presume.
Yeah.
I just ran past it, and there were 3 of them, and they were looking right at me, and I said, "Grease lightning!" And then I leapt the thing, and then they chased me down, and then I got back to the rest of y'all. Actually came out where Mac's coming out right now.
Oh, yeah, bet you did.
I did. I ain't a liar.
Now, as you are sort of standing in the middle of the area and starting to get ready to move forward, suddenly you realize that the temperature appears to be rising, and fast.
Again.
It goes from hot to suddenly boiling hot. And the earthquakes that you have sort of periodically noticed suddenly begin again. The facility is heating, and the facility starts to shake.
Shit.
At first, you think it's just coincidence, and then as you are sort of standing, Doc, you finish off your work, and as you're all standing up, you realize when there's a giant shake and the temperature starts to rise until you feel like you're exposed to an oven. No, this is getting serious, and then dust starts to trickle from the ceiling.
We gotta go.
Grab the guns.
Decaya, you said you knew a way out of here through the tunnels. That's right.
Decaya nods and says, yes. Up one more flight of one more section of the cave.
All right. I think we should probably follow him.
I think we should go.
Give him a gun.
Decaya motions and starts leading you along very, very quickly, tearing along. You're hurrying and trying to get further away as the shaking continues.
Wait, the guns were in this room, right?
The guns were in the side room off to the side here. Do you want to stop and grab some?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh,
Okay.
do you?
Yeah, we need to put a gun in everyone's hand who can shoot it.
Yeah, I'm not waiting
crystal.
for you.
Okay.
I'm not leaving this room until everyone's out of it, because everyone in here is currently a patient as far as I'm concerned.
All right, well, there's going to be more of them out there, so we need guns in every hand we can get.
Mac, I ain't sure they're gonna be able to fire these things. Best I can tell, it's like it's like a crystal or something. It ain't got a button.
No, I thought they were the guns that were taken from the prisoners.
Ooh.
That was the assumption I was going off.
Yeah. There was several. There were several mundane weapons around.
That's what we're going for.
Gotcha.
I will
That's
help
useful.
Mac grab guns if it means he'll move quicker, but everyone else, I'm ushering out.
Champion.
Okay.
I would like to scoop up Mandy Jacobs, who I believe is the kid who is here, and then grab her, and I'm hustling. I'm moving. I'm not waiting around for these guys.
Griff, you start moving forward at top speed, just heading along. The rest of you are sort of hovering. Blanca, what are you doing?
Wasn't there an older woman as well that was a bit less mobile? Am I remembering that correctly? Or am I
Yes.
thinking of
Yes, there was.
Does
They're
why don't you
currently
take?
being
Hold
helped
on,
along by some of the other former prisoners.
Blanca. Did you want to take? You take the kid.
yeah, I can do
the kid's
that.
lighter. I can scoop up the old woman.
You've got massive strength, don't you, Griff?
Yeah.
The
I
size
think I
of
have
him.
pretty good strength too.
Can I take one of them
Oh,
over
my
each
strength is
shoulder?
40.
Yeah, but you won't be carrying your gun.
Oh fuck. Yeah. No.
Nah, chuck us your gun. I got it.
All right, throw my gun to Grace. Okay.
This thing's
So
for
you've
killing
got,
buffalo.
you've got the kid, and I've got the 2 adults who are not with it.
I mean,
One-
all
one.
of the other prisoners I've already told to
Yeah,
get.
they're
go.
they're cognizant enough to go themselves, and I'm hustling out.
All right. So you hurry. You distribute the guns as quick as you can. The temperature is rising. You start to sweat bullets as you work, and then move, and you start to hurry along, heading further and further, rising up the mountain. You suddenly realize, even though you're inside it, you're climbing a mountain. This is hot work, and it is quite slow work. You were creeping around and hurrying around before. This time, you're having to hurry as best you can, and every now and again you're falling and you're collapsing against the walls. Now, this is something I didn't explicitly plan, but maybe this will work out. David, could I get you to bring up a little 10-minute timer as if we were doing a break, but place it just in the middle of the map?
Yes, I can.
Why?
It will only be viewable to viewers.
That's quite all right.
Uh-oh.
I don't like that one bit. Yeah.
Sorry, I got my own timer right here.
All right.
Setting it.
I like it. Give me a sec. I'll
Okay. All right. You are going to have to escape from this mountain, and things are falling apart. And just as you get up to the central entrance room, this is that sort of larger cavernous area that you came into when you first arrived. You can see the areas that lead up, and you know that there must be more up that way. In fact, can I get you to make a actually? Well, we've got the timer. So
All
it's
right,
not
ready when you are. Do you want me to put it up now?
Let's go. Yeah, just put it up now. Let's
10
do
minutes.
it.
All right, starting now.
All right. You can see, I won't get you to make a track check. You can see that there are footprints heading up. The serpents appear to have gone up towards the top of the facility. You don't know what information could be contained up there. If you want to find out more about what's going on, then maybe you want to go up that way. Otherwise, whatever great projects, you might never live to see, or you might never find out what it is. You arrive in the center of this area. You've got 10 minutes to get out of this thing before the whole mountain comes down. What are you doing?
But we got innocent people with us, so we just got to let them go, get these folks out.
Mac, you're tearing deeper. You're heading straight towards the tunnels.
If that, yeah, that's the way out. Yeah.
All right. You start heading in that direction, ushering people with you. Joseph, you have the most authority over the patients at this stage. You have been treating them. They'll listen to you. Are you leading them out as well, or what's the go?
Yeah, I'm following Decaya out the tunnels, like you said, getting back into the Mesa, getting everyone safe. I'll get him to lead them. I will be behind them, making sure nothing comes from the rear, because that seems to be like the most dangerous place. But I am telling them to move, yeah.
Excellent. Mac and Doc are making a tear towards the larger section of tunnels, following along after Decaya, who appears to know them relatively well. What about the rest of you?
I'm following Griff.
Okay. Griff, you've got a couple of people over your shoulder. Are you fleeing, or are you going to head deeper into the mountain?
Oh, I'm fleeing, man. I'm leaving this. I got my two people. I'm getting myself and them out of this place ASAP.
Okay, probably
What?
a good idea. So that means that almost everyone. Blanca, you hesitate. Are you joining the crowd, or is this sack the place, get out of here?
I'm going to resist temptation. I think about it, but I think I don't particularly want to die here. Whatever is not really worth dying for.
Not particularly.
All right. In which case, it's just time to run. You begin to sprint forward and head deeper into the tunnels, weaving through and getting deeper and deeper into them as best you can. Now, I have a couple of questions. First of all, someone needs to tell me how fast you are going. Are you sprinting, or are you walking cautiously?
I am going as fast as I can without causing myself further injury.
Okay.
That's I think if I'm still bleeding, that's going to slow me down a bit, I think.
All right. Excellent.
I'm matching whatever pace Decaya is setting, because he's the one that's taking
Decaya will match whatever pace the fastest person is going. So if someone says, I am sprinting, I am trying to get out, which I think, Griff, was your plan?
Yeah, I'm hustling. I'm going real quick. Yeah.
I'm
Okay,
on as well.
fantastic. All right.
I'm gonna try and run, but I don't think I can go top speed.
All right.
I'm carrying someone, and I'm also winded.
It's true. I'm
gonna go as fast as the slowest person in my group of patients, and I'm gonna essentially tell if everyone's hustling like Decaya, go as fast as I'd like deem safe for everyone. All the patients. So
perfect. 7 minutes left on the clock. I'm assuming at this stage, Grease, Griff, and Blanca, the three of you seem to have said that you're at the front. Mac, were you running full speed as well?
Yeah, as best I can.
Okay,
without opening up my wounds.
All right, so with the four of you at the front, you're tearing forward. Who has the best spot hidden?
I'm all right.
Grace?
65.
All
right.
right.
61.
The place is booby-trapped. To your immense horror, as you're running along, you spot one of the explosives in front of you. My question to you is, did you spot it early enough? Make a spot hidden check.
Yes, we did.
Please.
Yes.
No, the answer to
Yes.
that question is yes.
Final answer, yes, lock it in.
We do not need this. Oh no! No, this thing fucking chunked us the
As you're
first
running
time.
forward, you start darting, heading down alleys. You're leading these people, and you. This is a fortress. They have protections in here, and unfortunately, you have stumbled directly into them. Mac, it's happened. You felt it underfoot. If you'd like, I'll let you push this roll. Now, what that would mean is diving backwards and trying to collect as many of these people as you can and knocking them away from the explosion, right? Maybe you realized it quickly enough. If you didn't, then by turning back and sort of getting people to stop and move, you actually might put them in more danger.
Just push it.
Decisions.
I mean, this thing could, like-
in a dream.
Wait, so
This will take
just
some pieces
so
out
I
of you.
understand what's happening. Are you going to kill my patients if you push this and fail?
No, the patients are a little further back. This is
Okay.
just those who are in the front, which is every
Not
character except for Joseph. And of all the characters except for Joseph, who has been hit significantly? I believe everyone.
We're all
So,
on lower health. Yeah. We're all
Yep.
below half.
If I
Oh,
push
dear.
it and I fail, it's bad news for everyone.
Yeah.
If you fail, it's bad news for everyone. If you push and succeed,
Yeah.
you're going to clear it. If you push and fail, it's badder news for everyone.
If I
It's not
don't-
like just now you're going to take the brunt.
And if I don't push it, if I
If you
Everyone's
don't push
regular
it,
fail?
bad news for everybody.
So it's bad news for everybody, no matter what.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's just whether you want to risk worse.
I'll give you the detailed effect. If you push it and succeed, it's going to be your spot hit and roll, right? If you push it and succeed, you'll be able to tackle the others back heroically, and no damage. You'll be able to avoid this particular instance. If you push it and fail, I will deny a dexterity check to try and have people throw themselves away. So basically, do you think that it's better to have people rely on their dexterity, or do you want to make the roll for them with your spot hit? And no one go yelling out your dexterity.
Muted again. I think I'll leave it. I think I'll let them jump out of the way.
Let us make our own decisions in life.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. In which case, you feel the crunch underfoot. If it wasn't you, it was someone else. There's a huge crowd of people going
call
through this
out.
hallway. And as you feel it, crunch, you know it's going to blow up. Everybody, of the four of you, Joseph, you're safe. Make for me a dexterity check.
I'll tell them to duck.
Yeah, I think
Those
he's
of you
done that.
carrying people can choose to not make the dex before you. Sorry. Those of
Yeah.
you disregard the rolls, those of you who made it. Those of you carrying people. Those of you carrying people
Oh fuck.
need to either make the check at a higher grade of difficulty, so
Oh.
you'll need to make a hard check to get out of the way successfully,
Mhm.
or you can throw your people to safety and you will deny your check, or you can throw your people on the grenade and you will need to make.
Oh, if
That's
any of you spike a
darkest
child into a
timeline.
grenade, there will
Oh,
be
if-
words.
We'll probably get banned. That's
Yeah.
undersales.
that's
That
is
no,
not-
don't worry.
that is
They'll
not
roll to
Cthulhu
safety.
hero. yeah. I think I'm just gonna. Oh fuck, my dex is so bad.
Does Griff's gun? That's not increasing my difficulty, right?
No,
Is throwing the people to safety still requiring a dex check, just out of interest?
no. Throwing the people to safety is sort of shielding them with your body. What it's essentially doing is denying you the dex check, but it protects them.
Should we be worried about this time with 2 minutes left on it?
Oh yeah, shit. Has my armor lapsed, James?
Your armor has lapsed.
Doesn't matter. I'm
This took
making
a
my
little
roll.
This took a little bit longer than I expected. I'll tell you what. This happened at 7 minutes, and this has been a longer scene.
Fair, that's our fault.
Can you pause the timer for now, and we'll bring it back at 7 minutes. in a
I
second.
can do anything. I have the power of a god. Look, time has stopped. Watch
Oh.
me. But I can't hold it for long.
Okay,
Quickly,
quick.
resolve the scene.
God.
We did it.
I got a hard success.
We did it.
Just.
Hard success, extreme success. You both went for it. Grease, a success.
There's only one person left to roll.
Come
That's
on,
the guy who
Mac.
stepped on them.
Jump for it.
Come on, Mac. Get your ass out of there.
Dex.
Dex.
Take that,
We're
you stupid
amazing.
lizards.
There is an enormous boom. You can let time go.
Whoa.
You fly backwards. The explosion. You're back up on your feet. You're running. You're not leaving much time. You just have to keep going. So, quick question: are you going to keep sprinting or are you going slowly?
Sprint.
You just.
What are the chances it happens again? Run.
Yeah, they only got two. They wouldn't try the same tweak
All right,
twice.
we
We're
need a
fine.
quick vote. Hands up for sprinting. All right, you're sprinting.
Oh shit!
Hearing along.
They'd only have one mine. They'd put one
Heading
down.
through as quickly as you can.
I don't think you know how minds work.
Decaya starts to panic. They are not an investigator like you. They are not really. They're pretty sure it's this way, but they're not 100% certain. Maybe they need to double back. Someone needs to make a navigation check for me to keep going.
Mac,
Do it.
Less than a minute.
Yes.
All right,
Go,
good.
go,
You've
go,
done
go.
it. All right, correct direction. You think it's this way. You start tearing around, but now you're seriously. The heat is getting to you. The earthquakes are pretty constant. You are having to sort of force your way along. This is a horrible situation. Someone needs to help coax the people along here. I need an intimidate or a psychology to try and help the people go.
30
All right.
seconds.
Psychology.
Oh no.
They're taking too much time. You keep going. Give me an intimidate. Someone. You got to get them moving.
No.
Hey.
Okay, good,
All
good,
right.
good. 20
Success.
seconds.
You're moving forward. Keep going. You don't have time. You're moving through. Give me a 10-second countdown when we get to it.
Oh, we're at it.
Okay.
12,
I thought we
11.
like
All right.
7 minutes.
Racing through into
No,
the
no, I
dark
did not.
as best as you
7,
possibly can.
6,
I would like the
5,
person with the highest luck,
4,
Grease, make a luck
3,
check.
2, 1.
Outside
I got a
the
lot of
mountain,
luck.
it is a beautiful, peaceful day.
Arguably too much.
It is a wonderful, you can't see the dead. They appear to have moved on. You can't see the corpses of any horses, at least not from this angle. The sun is shining. It's just a wonderful time. Then all of a sudden, the mountain starts to collapse. Out of nowhere, it just folds inwards. And a second later, there is an ear-shattering crack as some sort of explosion sounds out. Those of you with keen eyes might be able to spot the shadowy figures of certain serpent people who have taken secret entrances, escaping off into the Mesa, making their way to whatever strange hideout they're going to next, but in general, evading your capture this time, except for the technician, the one who had to stay inside to make sure that all the secrets that were inside the mountain up at the top floors were buried and will remain buried forever, or at least outside the reaches of humanity.
I had like 3 of their books.
You did. You grabbed a few books, so not everything. Meanwhile, along the tunnel system that leads into these caves, a set of immense cave-ins begin, collapsing everything, crushing several of these strange serpent dogs inside them. An earthquake goes through the entire region, will be felt in cities across the South of America. But, as the dust settles in the depths of the deep canyon, which is like in saying at the base of the hidden base, a group of weary and exhausted travelers who succeeded the navigate check, who succeeded the intimidate check, who succeeded the luck check, and who weren't blown up by grenades too much, managed to haul themselves through, emerging into the canyon. You have escaped from the serpent person base. You are free, and you are out into the cool night air for now. Take a second. Congratulate yourselves. And as you look towards each other, I want you to give me a brief description of each of your characters now, at the end of this ragged adventure, looking about towards each other. What do you see? How have each of you changed?
Griff throws the 2 people to the ground, and then he collapses, like sitting down on the thing. And there's like sweat. His like dark. Once was gray, once was black, but now it's more gray hair plastered to his forehead with sweat, and his beard's all bedraggled, and he's taking his clothes, like pulling his clothes off, and so that he can breathe and have some air, and he's just lying there exhausted, wheezing.
All right, perfect. Grace, what about you?
The explosion was in very close proximity, and all the running and everything is let his ginger hair be like streaked with sweat and all just pushed back from his face. He drops the gun down next to Griff and then slumps to the ground and then tumbles backwards into Griff's gut and then lies there looking up at the ground in that way that kids don't realize how much, they could hurt someone. And then he lies next to Griff, breathing as well. Very, very exhausted. And quiet.
Mac, you almost died a half dozen times.
Yeah, I think there's very little left of my coat. It's got like holes in it and it's torn to bits. It's kind of hanging off me now if it wasn't already. One of the pockets is torn, but I look down and I'm surprised to see that a cigarette that I rolled earlier is somehow still wedged in there. So I just slowly take it out, and as I bring it up to my face and light it, my hand shaking so much that all the tobacco just spills out, but I don't notice.
Excellent.
Just smoke and empty cigarette staring out at the horizon.
Blanca.
Along the way, I have lost my hat, and like my hair is all kind of like slicked on my face. I put down that the child that I was carrying, I think it was Mandy. Make sure she's okay. She seems unhurt largely. But as I sit down and kind of collect myself, I'm patting down my chest and like feeling the bruises that are forming and realizing that I'm actually really badly hurt. And I'm kind of just like slumped trying to work through the pain.
Joseph.
Vest is unbuttoned, ties askew, there's blood on my shirt. I am concentrating on making sure that everyone is okay, and in a moment of when I'm sure everyone's settled, I go and reach for my flask, which is still there. Realize it's empty. And like my whole body just kind of like tenses for a second, and like my hand twitches, and I just try and breathe through it and go back to focusing on making sure everyone's okay.
All right. You don't have any of what you need right now, and your whole body is responding as a result. This collection of people that you have saved, that you have rescued, do not appear to be faring much better. They are exhausted. They are tired. Jameson is sort of standing at the front and manages to kind of in between gasping for air say, well, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right?
That it does. That it does.
I have not found that to be true.
A couple of seconds later, in the dark, you hear a noise, a small yipping noise, and as you turn sideways, you can see Dog standing at the corner of the small clearing that you are, having run to Deep Canyon for safety, yipping and barking, and it trots straight towards you, Griff, and sits at your feet happily.
Ah, good dog. Good dog.
What's the code word?
For the dog or for me?
Asparagus.
All right. Good job.
What?
And I roll back
No,
over.
the dog has to say it.
Close enough.
My dog is not a snake person.
Asparagus. What was it?
Asparagus.
You are all
Asparagus?
exhausted. Asparagus, yeah. the strange vegetable that Blanca didn't know. You're all exhausted, you're all wounded, and you're all pretty close to Stillwater.
We did it? We
Well-
saved the town?
Well,
You don't
long
really
as
know
it
what
was those-
state the town's in.
long as it was those things poisoning the town, I guess that's one thing knocked off the list.
I mean, if they triggered this explosion, most likely they had a way to get themselves out. I mean, they could be anywhere by now and looking like just about anyone. Maybe we run into the reptilian bastards again.
I'd like to get these fine folk back to town if we can. I'd like to rest, and I'd like to get some more supplies.
Yeah, I'm
running low
tired.
then.
We get Hank hat already.
Well,
Remember the reason we came here?
Well,
Not much fancy going back
Oh,
into
yeah.
town if the haze is still hanging around. Why don't we give it a night at least to see if it's going to disperse any?
I think, yeah. And then
The
I think the
smell
only
of-
way to tell is...
rosemary is not particularly strong right now. And you do sort of, you're relatively close to town. It seems like whatever the rockets were that were dispersing it needed to be applied relatively often, and you destroyed a lot of them.
We're the best.
I think we should head back into town, Mac. I really do.
I could use a bed
Oh.
for the evening.
Well, all right.
So the collection of you hit the road again and head back towards the town as quickly as you can. You don't find your horses, but you're not really passing by where you think they would be, at least at this stage. Possibly something that you will run into again on the journey. For now, you just need to get back to safety. You need to get back to the town. Now, inside Stillwater, I mentioned a few times that there were zombies on the loose. These risen dead had been attacking the people. Fortunately, things seem to be relatively stable. And you'll find out exactly why in a second. As you come into the town, you can see ramshackle barricades have been erected around one side of it, sort of the area surrounding the Buena Suerte Cantina. And there are people up on the walls with guns that seem to be watching and patrolling. When you approach, you hear a voice yell out in accent. It's sort of a strong southern accented voice yell. Wait, hold on now. Raise your hands. We need to know you ain't dead or sick. All right. You all raise your hands, and your companions do so too. There's a couple of seconds of silence, and then, come on forward. You walk forward, and they start gesturing you to go around, and eventually you see a part of the barricade that can be opened up. And you are greeted by a collection of people, and they all have masks tied around their face. Clearly, they appear to have picked up on what's going on, and they usher you in and start heading towards you. A young woman who you don't recognize, someone that you from the town, goes forward to each of you and says, "Tell me your name and where you're from. Each of you. Need to make sure you can remember everything straight."
U.S. Marshal Jeremiah MacDonald.
Oh,
Ringgold, Catoosa County, Georgia.
you're a marshal? And her attitude completely changes. Oh, Jesus, thank God we got some proper law in the area. You better, all of you then, and you better, hell is that Mandy Jacobs? And they immediately start to yell and move forward quickly. All the people rush into the town. As you're heading in and kind of quickly adopted into the city, Griff, at the edge, but just before you step in, you feel a tap on your shoulder. And you see Decaya and his son and the older woman, the Chiricahua Apache, have stopped, and they turn towards you. And you, in front of them, I believe, spoke a little bit of their language at one point.
It was actually the marshal who did it, although I can speak a bit of Shoshone, but yeah.
Okay,
Anyway,
no, it was the marshal. Yeah, it was the marshal. I think that the marshal appears to be occupied. So just based on proximity at this stage, they're going to tap you, and they'll say to you in English. Then we're going to turn back and head back towards the Mesa now. We know a track where we think we'll be able to get back to safety. Good luck to you.
I understand. Good luck to you and your people as well.
All right. And they nod and turn and hurry away. Mac, when you turn, you can see their sort of backs disappearing, and you see Decaya turn and wave at you, and Doc, you catch a glimpse of him waving as well before they vanish, heading back towards the Mesa. The barricade is shut again. The collection of you are led towards the Buena Suerte Cantina. The young woman who is there, who introduces herself as... where is the name? Della. Basically takes you through and says, you're going to have to speak to we don't really have any kind of organization set up, but we've done our best to keep people safe. We realized that there was a problem. We've kept the raving dead from the doors, and we've kept everyone from going mad at seeing them. We're just glad that there's a marshal in place who's going to be able to help with everything.
Well, as a matter of fact, me and the posse were in here just yesterday, and then we rolled out to deal with whatever was causing it. Glad
Right,
you
well.
have got it under control.
Well, under control, I don't know about that, but if you've dealt with something, that'll be good. Let me introduce you to the man who's kept us safe.
Hang on,
and
just
you-
before we enter, have y'all had anyone else real recent arrive? Last
Real
couple
recent?
hours or so, in between that earthquake and now.
No, y'all are the first.
All right, that's good.
You're led inside the Buenos Aires Cantina. You can see people prepared, and Della moves you forward and introduces you to a short man who's standing in the middle of the room and says, "This here's Hank Hanneready. He's been making sure we're all safe." And Marshall, suddenly you find yourself stuck staring into the eyes of your quarry, the man who killed your deputy, and who you personally have never seen before. This is the first time you've laid eyes on him in the flesh. He looks tired. He looks like he's been working. You can see he's just directing people, set up the barricades. He seems to have been organizing things. You can see that he's just been dealing with or getting food out to people and talking about plans. He pulls down his mask and turns towards you, weary-eyed, and nods and steps forward and says, "Hello, y'all. Well, how can I help you? You all need food. You all need safety. What can we?" And then he sees your marshal star and kind of hesitates a little bit, frowns and says, "Are you your law? You here to help us? Someone? I can see you got wounded. We can get some supplies together for you."
Yeah, help the wounded.
Oh, all right.
And then you and I can have a little chat.
Okay, certainly. Well, when he starts to organize, he calls people over, starts offering everyone food. Those of you who want to be involved in this chat can stick around. Otherwise, Joseph, are you going to go and assist with the helping of the wounded?
I'm gonna disappear.
Yeah, all right. You vanish for a time, and I think that there'll be a reckoning for the emptiness of your flask, but we'll come to that in a second.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, what about you, Blanca? Are you staying around to see this?
Thinking, would I have known Hank? Because didn't I run with his gang briefly?
No, you ran with you were in the same
wrong.
gang as a different member of the Green Eyed
Different
gang.
member,
You never ran
right.
with the Green Eyed gang.
I never was with them. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Because I think they're a little bit irredeemably bad.
Yes.
Yes. I am. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna. If the chat is happening kind of just like here, I'll sit nearby.
I
Yeah.
meant to imply a private chat.
Okay, well, you'll have the opportunity to do that, but it seems to have gone over Hank's head for the moment. So you're sort of seated nearby. Some food is pushed towards you. People standing about. Grease.
Unless I'm told to sod off, I will remain just next to the marshal.
And what about you, Griff?
I'm gonna stand menacingly behind the marshal.
Hell yeah.
Within about 5 minutes, everything's been dealt with. People have been sat down. You genuinely see Hank appears to be doing everything he can to help. In the minutes that he spends assisting, several people come over to him with questions. They're moving supplies from the blacksmith to make sure they have enough to shore up the barricades. They're talking about going in and making sure that there's none of the confused people in the houses who need help, that need to be pulled into the Buenos Aires Cantina area where they'll be safe. They're talking about going to get the doctor who's been apparently sitting in the doctor's office shooting animals, but they think that it's probably a symptom of the disease. And eventually Hank comes back towards you and says, you wanted to chat? Do we need to talk privately, or is here fun?
That'd be fine.
All right, well, come outside then. He leads you through a side door, nodding at the man behind the bar that you noticed, the rather large, intimidating sort who you won some, you gambled with a couple of days ago, who nods at you briefly, seems very focused on his work. And suddenly the three of you find yourselves outside. Blanca, do you want to follow the group, or
Yeah, distance.
all right. You have still vanished. Joseph, and we will jump back to exactly what's happening with you in a moment. But first of all, the four of you come outside. Hank turns around and seems a little surprised to see all of you, but then nods and says, so what can I help you with, Marshall?
Is he armed?
Yeah, he has a gun to his side. He's not holding it. It's in a holster.
Yeah. Myself and my colleagues are going to remain armed. You're going to drop your iron on the ground.
What?
You're going to do as I say.
Are you robbing us?
No, I'm arresting you.
Good, Robin.
Kind of blinks for a second and says, "Oh, okay. Yeah, sure." And he unbuckles his belt and lets it fall to the ground so that he doesn't, the gun immediately falls away. And he says, "Yeah, I guess this has been coming for a while, huh?"
You seem awful collected for a cold-blooded killer.
Yeah. Well, I spent the last little while trying to redeem what I did, but it's pretty irredeemable. So yeah, y'all got to shoot me. Y'all got to take me in. Y'all do it. Just maybe let me talk to the folks first. Tell them I might be able to tell them to listen to someone else. Make sure they still got a leader to keep them safe.
Can I have a psychology check? I don't think he's on the level at all.
Yep.
I think he's trying to pull the wool over my eyes.
Sure, go ahead.
Extreme success. A merciless, cold-blooded bastard, and as soon as I let him talk to the people, he's going to be like, get him, man.
No, an extreme success might be the worst result here. You look into this man's eyes, and you've seen 1,000 people. You've seen 1,000 criminals. And very rarely do you see one that truly wants to be redeemed. Griff, we've asked everyone else something throughout the course of this session. Griff's seen a lot of violence in his time. He's been in the mountains a lot, but you've seen some combat. You've seen some hard times. You've seen some lean times. Let me ask you, what would it take for Griff to put down his gun, to never fire another shot?
That is an interesting hypothesis, because a long time ago, I made that exact vow, or at least something that would be similar. I thought I would take my gun and I would never fire it upon a human being again. But I saw something one time that convinced me that there was bad people in this world again. Look, up in the mountains, I was a pretty lonesome man, but I made some friends here and there. One of those was a tribe of Shoshone Indian. They were good to me, and I liked them a lot. And one time I came upon them to find that their whole tribe had been massacred with violence done by a man who I shall not name at this point, but I know his name well. That drove me to take up my rifle again, to drive out, seek out this man.
So you know that people who make vows to pacifism, make vows to, one complete way of life can change, at least going one direction.
I believe that there is a chance for redemption.
Yeah.
A man sometimes is forced to do things that he may later regret.
Marshall, you can see in Hank's eyes, he is absolutely regretful. He absolutely wants redemption. And he holds out his hands to you for you to cuff him, for you to tie him behind his back. suppose it's about time I paid for what I did.
I'm gonna. I do want to say to Mac, like, this seems too easy.
You can say your piece to your flock, and then I'm taking you in.
Sure. Thank you. Yeah. And he turns and says, "Do you want? I just go inside and do it? You know."
Fine.
All right. He walks in, leaving the collection of you outside. You can hear the hum of conversation sort of die down inside. Meanwhile, outside, did the collection of you say anything?
You know, Marshall, there is room for redemption, you know. It's your call, obviously, but, you know, he clearly ain't the man he was all them years ago.
He seems like he's willing to atone. That doesn't mean you shouldn't take him in.
That's the only reason he's not lying dead in this street right now.
I do want to say, Mac, with the rap sheet that he has, he'll hang for what he's done.
I am okay with this.
Okay.
All right. That's your decision to make then.
All right.
If he's made peace with himself, that benefits him. Him alone.
Great. Joseph, where did you disappear to?
I took my bag upstairs. I'm assuming we're near the inn.
Yep. Well, the Buenos Suerte Cantina is inside the barricade. The Sweetwater, not Stillwater Hotel, is outside the barricade. But there's rooms in the Buenos Suerte Cantina.
I am wherever is closest to us on my private.
Yep. You've found a private space up in one of the rooms upstairs.
Loosen my tie, my collar. I'm shaking quite a bit. Pull open my medical bag. Pull out that bottle of whiskey that I filched from, I think, Priest Stream.
Yeah.
At a abandoned bar. Take my flask, fill about half to 3/4 of it with whiskey, and I'm gonna go into my bag, get what I need, fill the rest of the flask with that. Realizing that ain't gonna be enough, so I take out my syringe and I do what needs doing, and I fucking relax.
Pupils dilated, the world slowly slips away from you, and you find yourself dreaming, as sometimes you do after intense study with languages, in hisses and guttural screeches as you drift off to another world. From outside, you hear a voice making a speech, then angry yells, then the voice making more of a speech, calming them, and eventually sort of the humdrum of conversation, and then an odd silence. The door opens again, and two people come out this time, Hank and Della as well, the woman who let you in through the barricade. Hank looks sort of weary. He comes out. Della walks towards you, Marshall, and starts saying, "You son of a bitch! You were meant to help us! You were meant to help us!" and starts pounding on your chest with her fist. Hank kind of starts, "Stop, please. He's doing the right thing." And she steps back, staring daggers directly at you.
I would like to show her the. Mike point takes 2 points of damage from the pounding on his chest and immediately falls dead. I would like to show her the badge that I keep on the inside of my pocket, the deputy's badge.
Yeah, she steps back and she's glaring and looks furious and distraught. Hank seems almost peaceful, and he steps forward and says, "Well, it's a long ride to get out of here. How you want to do this?"
Well, I was fixing to hold up here for a few days and rest, but Well, ma'am, I don't suppose you'd take us.
She kind of goes to say no, and Hank actually turns and talks to her and says, they are here to help. Really, they are. And manages to sort of argue in your favor. And eventually she agrees. And Hank will turn back and say, y'all can stay here for a time. Do y'all want me in irons, or otherwise I can man the barricade?
You can hole up in the holding cell in the sheriff's office.
Sure. Okay. Well, he's in the cantina sleeping one off, went drinking. You want me to let myself in? Or
No, I'll take you.
Okay. And the two of you step away. The sheriff's office is just outside the barricade, so you'll actually leave, leaving just the three of you together. Any last words that that Griff, Grease, Blanca, that you want to have with each other?
Y'all think he's really changed? And people don't just up and,
I'm
change their
just
ideals?
worried. That doesn't sit right with me. I was expecting something more. It makes me worried about the rest of the people we're going after.
I met, some of these bastards, and they're meaner than hell. They never would have met us in the street. They never would have helped these folks. Would have sooner gutted them, taken the dead as providence that's, what's here's theirs. Wouldn't have lasted. I don't know.
Sure.
Something weird about it.
Well, I mean, he tried to change, but I guess he had to go away anyway.
I don't think there's anything especially weird about a person changing.
Y'all seen what these folks have done, right? Run people out of towns, stolen, murdered. Name it, they done it. He deserves to hang, simple as that. He can pretend he's better in it. Thinks he's redeemed himself after a few years of work. Hell, I only ran with him for a week or so, and I'm still trying to find redemption for what I did. Like, it ain't so simple,
It's true. And that's why it's on the marshal. It's his wrong. It's the marshal's decision. And I will stand by him what he decides.
I agree.
Well, I guess as long as the marshal gets some kind of closure from this, then who are we really to stand in his way?
What we need to worry about is these townspeople. He's been friendly to them. They think he's their ally. Maybe he stays there in that cell overnight. They get in their heads. It might be, in their interest to let him loose. We need to keep an eye on him and make sure no one does anything stupid. He leaves with the marshal and us when we go, not before.
Well, we don't have anything left to do in this town. Shouldn't we just leave as soon as we can?
I don't know where the hell the doc is, and Mac's missing half his head.
Well, do either of you want to stand watch over this guy's cell then?
I can stay with him. Yeah, it ain't a worry.
Yeah, I'll at least rest in the sheriff's office. I'll take the cell opposite. Trust me, I slept in a lot worse than a cell.
Yeah, it's a roof.
Well, I want a good night's sleep, so I'm going to go back to the saloon.
Yeah.
Blanca, would you look for Doc while you're wandering? I just don't know where the hell
Yeah,
he
I can
got
knock
to.
on some doors.
All right,
I'm assuming just resting like the rest of us probably want to.
most likely.
Yep. You stopping for a drink before you go searching, Blanca?
Yeah, maybe just like one shot, just to
Pretty
dull
much,
the
yeah.
pain.
Sure.
Kind of sore. I'm quite sore. I'm very sore. My chest hurts.
Yeah,
It's like still hurting. That's weird.
exactly. Yeah. And maybe one turns to two. We'll see how we go. And across the other side of the town, outside the barricade, you're walking across the sheriff's office, and a very mirrored conversation happens. Hank Hanarati says to you, Mac, there's a risk that with some of those folks, I tried my best to calm them, but they're not so happy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I reckon we'll be moving on before sunrise.
Sure. Well, there is an alternative.
And what's that?
Well, you're going to take me to hang. Long trip, a lot of work, and I'm just going to draw in resources until then. Really, I'm going to cause a lot more misery to people if my life's drawn out any further. I mean, you're an arm of the law, ain't you? Can't we just Can you just shoot me? Or hang me if you need, or whatever? Make it quicker? Or quick as you need to get your piece?
Yeah.
Not for me, man. This is for protecting the town. I'm dying one way or another. Don't make an ounce of difference to me. My judgment will be in what comes after.
Damn it, Hank, why didn't we just shoot each other down in the street like civilized folk? That's how I was expecting this to turn out.
He kind of he says, yeah, would have been nice, huh? But I ain't shot anybody since I shot your deputy.
Why is that? Because I've been carrying Bill's badge around in my pocket all these years. Weighs pretty heavy. How come his life don't weigh so heavy on you?
There's not a single point where things changed. I never found catalysts, Wasn't a moment looking at the sky or a moment of contemplation. It was just a lot of little things building up over time. And then you look back and suddenly you're a different person. It's the same way that I found myself killing. It's the same way that I found myself not killing. And so I'm not trying to say anything here that'll save my life. I deserve it, and it's the law, but it makes most sense for you to do it now.
All right. If you're ready to go, I have the authority to hang you at noon tomorrow.
All right. You probably don't want to do it public, like I said, too much risk of someone causing trouble trying to stop you.
Well, yeah, but that's not the way we do things. Everything the law does is out in the open, in the daylight, where everyone can see.
Okay. Whatever you need to do, Marshal. And you lead Hank across to the cells. Blanca, you head upstairs after a couple of drinks, heading towards Doc's room. Griff, after a conversation, you head towards the sheriff's cells to watch over. It's time to rest in Stillwater. And we'll come back next time to the conclusion of everything that happens in this town. But first of all, a little hint, a little peek at what's going on elsewhere. Some indeterminate amount of time later, the secondary facility receives a number of visitors. And they hear the news of the folks from Stillwater who disrupted plans. But it doesn't matter, because this facility has been far more successful, and they are ready to accelerate proceedings. Thanks for joining us. What a great game.
Second what? Secondary?
Proceedings.
Secondary facility. This was the secondary facility.
Secondary. Oh.
Lizards! Hell yeah, that was flippin' awesome.
Well, thanks everyone for joining us. That was another game of Shadows of Stillwater. We will be back next week. You can catch all the games on YouTube. Now, remember, if you have Amazon Prime, you can subscribe to our channel here on Twitch for using your Amazon Prime free subscription. You can also subscribe to our channel on YouTube and all that kind of stuff. We will be back next week with another game of Shadows over Stillwater, but you can also tune in later this week for some RuneQuest action. We had the first episode last week, and we're coming back for more. Special thanks to everyone here, to Art, to Daniel, to David, to Jackson, to Rachel. You're all amazing. You're all wonderful. And we will catch you all, audience, next week. Thanks for being here with us.